After Kaylin married Li Su, it took almost a year, under Li Su's continuous cultivation. Only then did I finally have Li Su's baby. Although her bloodline is not as good as that of He Lin, she is much stronger than ordinary high clan women. It is not easy to give birth to offspring. Like Bai Ling, after giving birth to Linger, her stomach remained silent. The stronger the bloodline, the harder it is to give birth to offspring. Sometimes probability is also very important, like the nascent soul girl Li Su married, she will have it in the 3rd month. Of course, it might not be so easy for this nascent soul girl's second baby. This is also the biggest problem of bloodline compared to spiritual roots. In terms of bloodlines, even if you want to make up for quality with quantity, it is useless. If it is a low-level bloodline, it will only be continuously diluted. That is to say, it is impossible for Li Su to bring in many bloodlines to feed back when he recruits those Sea Tribe women with ordinary bloodlines among the Sea Tribe. Seeing that Li Su is continuously bringing home all the beauties of the Sea Tribe whose strength is at least above gold core, the cultivators in the Northern Territory are also very envious. Li Su's prestige also reached its peak in the entire northern border. Even Bihai, who has been in the camp in the north for thousands of years, does not have the prestige that Li Su has now. Bihai is only powerful, but he rarely acts in front of ordinary immortal cultivators. Most of the ordinary cultivators don't even know Bihai's name. Think about it, if Bihai retreats or goes out just once, it will be the life of many immortal cultivators. He has lived too long. Many ordinary cultivators only know that the Bixia sect has a transformation power, and they are in awe of it. But Li Su is different. Li Su's rise in the northern region was too fast, and each thing he did became more and more sensational. The growth rate is so fast, it can be said that some cultivators grew up watching Li Su constantly taking concubines. This time when Li Su married Bai Ling, countless cultivators in the Northern Territory admired Li Su even more. Not only is he Washan power, even Li Su's woman is transformed into god power. At Li Su's house, there are several nascent souls and a lot of gold core concubines. Who can compare? Moreover, Li Su also did something that the northern border could not do tens of thousands of years ago, and started trade with the Beihai Heizu. Judging from the enthusiastic attitude of the Sea Clan powerhouses in Beihai towards Li Su during each wedding, Li Su also has a lot of prestige among the Sea Clan in Beihai. The strong Sea Clan has a good attitude towards Ji Su. Even those crabman nascent soul powerhouses who usually have stern faces and look extremely fierce, will grin and smile when they see Li Su. Although they are uglier when they laugh than when they cry, this attitude is real. As weddings are held in Linhai City, the influence of Linhai City is also growing. This fairy city has also begun to gather more cultivators from the north, and there is a tendency to replace Linxian City. The benefits brought by a fairy city are still quite a lot, especially in the current situation of Linhai City's trade with the Sea Clan. Linhai City is also constantly being expanded. Before, the Hai Clan did not build this fairy city too big to avoid attracting the attention of the northern fairy gate. Naturally, Li Su doesn't have to worry so much. Look, all the masters are here except those from closed-door training. That's right, the current Li Senior takes a concubine at random, so many people come. With Li Senior's prestige, now Li Senior can be called the King of the North. In Linhai City, some cultivators who came to participate in Li Su's another concubine ceremony were discussing in shock. A cultivator inadvertently gave Li Su the title of King of the North, and it spread. King is a secular title. For cultivators, it doesn't matter whether they are king or not. Although many immortal cultivators have cut off their fate, those who are weaker in strength will still be affected by some secular concepts after all. It also allowed this title to spread in the northern border. This is also the common recognition of Li Su's strength and status by all the immortal cultivators in the northern border. After more than a year, Kaylin gave birth to a baby for Li. This baby is still a daughter. The main reason is that Kaylin, like Bai Ling, prefers daughters, and the powerful Hai women seem to have the ability in this regard. If you want to have a daughter, you can have a daughter. When she was first born, this girl was still dominated by human blood. The gap between Zhao people and humans is not very big, and it is only a pair of horns on their foreheads. The pair of horns will also change differently according to the strength and bloodline. After the daughter's flood dragon blood was stimulated by the colorful scales, a pair of colorful horns grew on her head very quickly. Husband, Chi-Chi's blood concentration is higher than mine. Kaylin was a little happy. The daughter's name is Li Chi-Chi, because her horns are colorful. After being pregnant with this girl, Li Su used some special spiritual objects in the Sea Clan to refine a lot of medicine pills, so that when the girl was in the stomach, she could strengthen some blood vessels. Only blood vessels can do this, and the enhancement range is not fixed, it is more like a percentage. Originally formidable, the extent of enhancement will be more. The original rubbish can't be enhanced much. For Li Su, who is very good at pill refining, he can definitely make the blood of his offspring with the high tribe girls stronger. This is different from spiritual roots again. There is no way. The offspring he had with the girls of the high clan couldn't increase in quantity, so they could only ask for quality. The birth of Li Chi-Chi also gave Li Su some blood enhancement. Now that Li Su has 1000 experience points, he can increase the body cultivator cultivation base by 420 points. Immediately afterwards, the other sea women in Tana also gave birth to offspring for him one after another. The strength of these sea women is not weak, and their bloodlines are not bad. The difficulty of giving birth to offspring is much greater than that of humans, so Li Su also focused on cultivation at the beginning. The ratio between Li Su's experience and body cultivator cultivation base is also constantly decreasing. After reducing to a certain level, Li Su can add body cultivator cultivation base. Strengthen your own body. Husband, on this day, Yuyue left the customs. After breakthrough, she spent several years to fully consolidate it. This is to lay a solid foundation, one step at a time. Husband, I am going to return to the palace of Heavenly Devil to strive for a higher status. After staying with Li Su for more than a month, Yu is ready to leave. She wants to go back to the palace of Heavenly Devil, and go to pull the wool of Heavenly Devil again, so that she can rush to the consummation of transformation in one go. Of course, even if you can get power from Heavenly Devil, Yu still needs a lot of time to digest these powers. Indigestion is not good, the foundation is unstable, and problems will also occur. Go. Li Su didn't restrain her. He grew up too fast. Among women, not many could keep up with his footsteps. The leader, Shangguan Shui, is on a tryst with another. Her upper limit will be very high. Therefore, Li Su is happy to see Yu getting stronger and stronger. Yu reluctantly left. When leaving, Li Su stuffed her with a lot of medicine pills, which helped her absorb the power of Heavenly Devil. Yu was also moved so much that she was about to leave, but she came back and had another reunion with Li Su. After several hours, she left again. Middle stage. On this day, Li Su came to Washan middle stage. The fourth level of God transformation. It can be said that it is very difficult to rise from the third level of Washan to the fourth level. Zijin Yuanshan is indeed powerful, but the cultivation base needed to upgrade is a little too much. Of course, many returns are many, and the time spent is actually not much. Compared with other Washan, that is 108,000 miles faster. Put a fairy spiritual roots in sacred land, with top-notch cultivation technique, top-notch teachers, and top-notch resources, none of them can compare to Li Su. Therefore, Li was not in a hurry. His spiritual roots are not far from the fourth rank. Once the spiritual roots reaches the fourth rank, the current cultivation base will be added, and it will be even more powerful. The entire family is also growing stronger and stronger like a snowball, and the number of descendants of spiritual roots is also increasing, and the rewards will only continue to flow. The head of Shangguan Shui is still in closed-door training. This time she has been in closed-door training for more than 20 years. Li Su has reached the middle stage of Washan. Li Su estimated that the time for the master to leave the customs should be soon. But there is no telling. Immortal spiritual roots are 200 years old, and that is in sacred land. Of course, Li Su gave the head a lot of medicine pills, and the door might be able to rush to Washan in one go. On this day, Li Su received another piece of good news before the head left the house. After the descendants of spiritual roots made 100 again, Li Su's spiritual roots finally reached the fourth rank spiritual roots. Fourth rank spiritual roots. Li Su's spirit lifted. It's not easy to get to the fourth rank spiritual roots this time. After the spiritual roots reaches the fourth rank, Li Su distributes the rewarded cultivation base. It took a full half a month to absorb these cultivation bases, and successfully let own realm rise to another level, from the 4th level of the God transformation to the 5th level of the God transformation. This time, within a year, Li Su was in the stage of transforming gods, and had been promoted to 2 floors in succession. If this is known by others, I don't know what it will be like. 5 levels of God transformation. In Li's mansion, feeling the surging and extremely powerful power in his body, Li Su smiled. Spiritual roots has risen to the 4th rank, which is really awesome. Otherwise, from the 4th floor of the God transformation to the 5th floor of the God transformation, there is no way to upgrade with the rewards of 100, plus the usual large number of small rewards. 5th rank spiritual roots. After a lifetime, it is very difficult to grow to the 5th level of God transformation. Bai Hai gave Li Su the feeling that he was on the 3rd level of Washan. That is to say, Bai Hai's lifespan was consumed by more than half, and he didn't reach the middle stage of transformation God. No way. The 5th rank spiritual roots achievement of God transformation itself is too difficult. Even if Bai Hai has achieved Washan, he has a good status in Zhongzhou, and he can still be regarded as a disciple of the 1st rank Xianmen Gaiyuanzong. But even if his strength and status are good, in Gaiyuanzong, in fact, still not taken seriously. Because his future can be seen at a glance. Even if Gui Yuanzong was willing to give him good treatment, he would not use all his resources to train him. There is no shortage of geniuses in the 1st rank Fairy Gate. Using resources on him would consume 100 times more resources than a genius, and it might not be possible for Bai Hai to reach Washan in this lifetime. Here comes the problem. With these 100 times the resources, wouldn't it be better for Gui Yuanzong to directly train 100 geniuses? Therefore, Bai Hai was also very embarrassed. He is indeed respected in Gaiyuanzong, and Jianzhang's strength is here. But it is not easy for Bai Hai to get too many resources from Gui Yuanzong that are helpful for the cultivation of spirit transformation. In itself, spiritual roots is poor, and he needs more resources than others. Because of this embarrassment, Bai Hai wanted to exchange resources by recommending geniuses to Gui Yuanzong. This is also impossible. 4th rank spiritual roots, naturally much better. Although, the 4th rank spiritual roots, is still not worthy of Li Su's Zijin Yuanshan. Leading to the upgrade of Li Su's Zijin Yuanshan requires more cultivation base than others. But, it is much better than 5th rank spiritual roots. After transforming into a god to reach the middle stage, it is very difficult for each level up. With the 4th rank spiritual roots, the cultivation base required for Li Su to reach the 5th level of Washan and then go up will be greatly reduced. This can accelerate the growth of Li Su. In this world, Washan is indeed powerful. But Washan is far from invincible. Li Su's goal is to become a god. Naturally, he also hoped that he could grow faster. Not in a hurry. It doesn't mean that Li Su doesn't want to grow faster. It's just that there's no rush, it's too urgent, and sometimes it's easy to give Shin business opportunities. Li Su has not encountered Heart's Demon now, because he walked too steadily and his mentality is better. Take it easy. Take one step at a time. Like a seamless egg, Heart's Demon stands no chance. But if he is in a hurry and his mentality is unstable, he may encounter Heart's Demon. After this upgrade, Su is truly the #1 matchmaker in the entire Northern Territory. He has far surpassed Bai Hai. In fact, with the strength of Li Su's Zijin Yuanshan, when Li Su had just become a Washan, Bai Hai might not be his opponent in a fight. Bai Hai has lived for thousands of years, so there may be more methods. Due to the short time of Li Su's growth, although he has a lot of means now, he is actually the weak link in terms of magic skills. Li Su's current battle is also relying on the sharpness of magic treasures, as well as his stronger Yuanshan than his realm. In terms of combat methods and combat experience, there must be a gap with those who have lived for thousands of years. But that doesn't mean you can't beat it. Li Su's hole cards are quite a lot. On this day, Li Su swept across the land of the northern border again, collecting the earth energy in the special formations he arranged on the mountains. He used formation to absorb these earth chi, and then Li Su would use this earth chi to make a special kind of talisman. That is the Jinshan talisman. The more earth energy in the Jinshan talisman, the more terrifying its power. The current Golden Mountain talisman, once sacrificed, can become a mountain of incomparably terrifying weight. This kind of smashing people may not be easy to use, because the speed of transforming gods is too fast. But it is very useful to deal with some imprisoned or defensive methods. Hitting it directly is equivalent to rounding countless mountains to smash people, but it is not a pure physical attack. Even some solid restrictions can be completely destroyed. Of course, the earth chi that needs to be consumed every time should not be used. The specific number of times it can be used depends on the strength of the enemy in the holy war. There are many talismans and talismans refined by Li Su. In these years, he has not patronized the creation of human beings. In the hands of some of his outstanding descendants, there are more escape talismans. For example, a kind of divine escape talisman, after using it, can bring this descendant back to Jifu at a speed comparable to that of a messenger stone. This kind of divine escape talisman was made by Li Su after studying the communication stone. It is very difficult to intercept. With Li Su's current strength and prestige in the northern border, the only idlers in the entire northern border are the descendants of Ji. Once someone really attacked Li Su's descendants, their strength would definitely not be weak. The other talismans, Li Su's mortal descendants, don't have much power after activation. It's not as good as the God Escape Talisman. Save your life first. After collecting this wave of earth energy, Li Su came to the water gate again. After staying at the water moon gate for a few months, the conch suddenly rang. Li Su picked up the conch, listened to it, and set off in a hurry. The reason is simple. The holy city of the Beihai Sea tribe is being besieged by a large number of sea beasts. Sea beast riots. Some of the sea beasts in the North Sea are driven by the Sea Clan, but there are also many sea beasts that attack no matter who they are. There are so many rare treasures in the ocean, even the Beihai Sea Clan can't find all these rare treasures. By chance, some sea beasts can grow up after eating these rare treasures. Among these sea beasts, some sea beasts also have good intelligence. They are naturally violent. This kind of intelligence allows these Hailu to hunt and grow better. Actually, these sea beasts are the aborigines in the ocean. It's just that after the Sea Clan became stronger, it was called the ocean. The difficult thing about the sea beasts this time is that some sea beasts came out of several places that were forbidden to the sea people. Inside, there are even fifth-order sea beasts. That is, the sea beast of the god level. This is extremely rare in the North Sea. It is not easy for sea beasts to grow to the level of deities. Coupled with the fact that there are too many sea beasts, the pressure on the holy city of the Sea Clan has become extraordinarily high this time. In the holy city of the Sea Clan, there is usually only one Sea Clan transformation god stationed there. After the other Sea Clan got the news, they had already rushed there, but it was very possible that the place was breached before they arrived. The main reason is the number of sea beasts, because there are too many. Bai Ling has already set off with the sharks, and it will take half a month at the earliest for her to reach the holy city. Bai Ling thought that Li Su had a very fast flying boat, so he asked Li Su for help. The speed of the flying boat may not be enough. Li Su thought. He didn't use the flying boat, but directly used the Divine Escape Talisman, which is a lower-level magical talisman than the one he gave to future generations. It is not easy to make this kind of Divine Escape Talisman, and it consumes a lot of real energy. Li Su only gave it to herself, and Lu Xinshui and the other concubines who had to go out from time to time gave a few pieces. It was seen that as soon as the Divine Escape Talisman was used, Li Su's whole body turned into a stream of light and rushed to the north quickly. This time the speed was too fast. Not long after, the North Sea was in the distance. He used another Divine Escape Talisman and continued to rush towards the holy city of the Sea Clan. Not long after, he came to the top of the holy city of the Sea Clan. Among all human beings except the Sea Clan, he was the only one who knew this location. Good guy. When Li Su saw it, he could see densely packed sea beasts even on the surface of the water. This time, it was really a sea beast riot. I don't know how many sea beasts rushed to the holy city of the Sea Clan. These guys, why did they make such a big commotion? Li Su thought. There are too many of these sea beasts, and there are many powerful sea beasts inside, so it is impossible to be organized by someone. Who has the ability to accurately find so many sea beasts in the boundless North Sea, and then drive them to attack the holy city of the Sea Clan? Those who really have this ability can wipe out the holy city of the Sea Clan directly. Just like the power that boiled the sea tens of thousands of years ago, the former holy city of the Sea Clan was destroyed by that power from the surface of the sea, separated by an unknown depth of seawater. When you have absolute strength, there is no need to play tricks. Of course, nothing is absolute. However, Li Su felt that the riot of these sea beasts should not be artificial. Beihai Spring I. He thought of these 4 words. It could only be the Beihai Spring. The North Sea Spring can draw special energy from the entire North Sea to produce spring water that can strengthen the blood. Li Su discovered it when he was refining it. This thing is not very friendly to sea beasts. Is it possible that this special energy was born for no reason? This North Sea Spring I, understood in another way, can be seen as the luck that was originally scattered in the North Sea, which belonged to the sea beasts, can be absorbed, and then strengthen the Sea Clan. Tens of thousands of years ago, the Sea Clan was extremely powerful, and sea beasts had no chance of rioting at all. But now, the Sea Clan and the sea beast are actually recovering together, but the recovery speed of the sea beast seems to be far faster than that of the Sea Clan. This is normal. There are too many sea beasts. At the beginning, the sea beasts might even overwhelm the Sea Clan. Therefore, after more than 10 years of operation in the holy city of the Sea Clan, the Beihai Spring I angered the sea beasts and caused a sea beast riot. When these sea beasts riot, more sea beasts will follow. It's an instinct. They all want to destroy something that threatens their own survival and reproduction, that is, the Beihai Spring. Survival and reproduction are the instincts of all life, especially for sea animals. Even the 5th order sea beasts came. After figuring out everything, Li Su put away the flying boat and quickly set up the formation flag. The scope of these array flags is too wide, with a radius of thousands of miles, full of array flags. Following Li Su's movements, countless bright rays of light appeared in the sky. The sunshine of thousands of miles was gathered together. With a movement of Li Su's hand, a huge mirror rushed up to the sky to absorb the sunlight. Li Su was not in a hurry, and let the sunlight keep rushing into the mirror. After a long time, when he felt that it was almost the same, Li Su moved his hands, the mirror suddenly lit up, and 10 extremely obvious beams of hot light fell from the sky. After becoming a god, you can use the power of heaven and earth. This time, Li Su not only used the power of heaven and earth by himself, but also used the power of heaven and earth to the greatest extent with the help of the formation of flames he created. Boom! On the surface of the water, Li Su immediately punched out a hole with a radius of tens of miles, and all the sea beasts inside were killed. Then, Li Su Meng rushed into the seawater. The holy city of the Sea Clan is right below this, the Lord of the Deep Sea. Block them. Don't let them destroy the spring, our reinforcements are coming soon. At this time, under the attack of the sea beasts, the holy city of the Sea Clan has already been breached. There are too many sea beasts. The ocean is a 3-dimensional environment, and the total number of lives in the ocean far exceeds that on land. Although, most of these lives are in the category of food. The people of the Sea Clan stationed in the holy city of the Sea Clan are fighting with all their might. Here, there are more than 10 nascent soul-level sea tribesmen, 1 sea tribe deity, and 100 gold core-level sea tribesmen stationed. At this time, these sea tribes were fighting in the calendar. In midair, 1310 black giant dragons were fighting with a huge sea beast. This sea beast has thick skin and a huge body, but it is extremely flexible. The Kanglong beast is too strong, and the Black Scale Senior can only block it, so we shrink the line of defense to prevent the other 4th-tier hazy. The powerhouses of the Sea Clan further shrunk their line of defense. The Sea Clan's transformation god stationed here is definitely Mo Lin. She also came back. I don't know if she has replenished the blood of the real dragon. In the battlefield between her and the 5th Order Sea Beast, no Sea Beast dared to approach, but she could not help other strong Sea Clansmen either. Although this 5th Order Sea Beast bloodline is not as good as hers, it has a longer lifespan and stronger strength. Ink Scales can only barely block it. After she was pinned down, the Sea Clan powerhouses were almost unable to stop her. Why is there another one? At this time, suddenly, a 5th-level sea beast suddenly appeared. This is a thunder stick fish. It is extremely fast, and it has a thunder light on its body, and it can also release thunder. Although Mo Lin turned into a Jiao, her pressure skyrocketed in the face of 2 stronger 5th-order sea beasts. Soon, she couldn't stand it anymore, and had to retreat to the square, where there was still the last defensive formation. It is also the location of Beihai Spring. the two Tier 5 sea beasts that came out of nowhere, and a large number of Tier 4 and Tier 3 sea beasts rushed over. The final defensive formation couldn't stand it anymore. It happened. The complexions of the Sea Clan powerhouses changed drastically, and some Sea Clan powerhouses in the Gold Core stage seemed to be in despair. Even Molin couldn't help feeling powerless at this time. Suddenly, an extremely bright beam of light descended from the sky. Where the beam of light touched, the seawater was instantly evaporated. The deep seabed was also instantly illuminated. The fifth-order sea beast that was rushing fiercely sensed the danger, and suddenly bumped upwards. From its body, a thunderbolt spat out violently. Boom! The light collided with the thunder, and the surrounding seawater was drained, and an extremely huge hole appeared. The fifth-order sea beast uttered a cry of pain, and was rolled over by this strike. This guy, the body cultivator, is still hard, but this strike also caused it to be seriously injured. Not only that, a large number of fourth-order sea beasts were only affected, and they were all wailing and being knocked into the air. Few of the sea beasts below fourth order survived. The power of one blow is so terrifying. All the strong men of the Sea Clan in the square were dumbfounded. The beam of light had already fallen, and a man with a handsome face and bright eyes, as if brighter than the sun and the moon, took a step forward. It's like a god descending from the earth. It's Li Sr. Seeing Li Su, the powerhouses of the Sea Clan were overjoyed and cheered. It's him. He Zhao's eyes looked at Li Su. Mo Lin was deeply captured by Li Su's aura at this time. She has come back. Above the square with the Beihai Spring Eye, Li Su also saw the black flood dragon. He recognized it naturally. It was Huajiao's ink scales. Mo Lin went out a few years ago and wanted to make up for the blood of the real dragon, but he didn't know if it was done. After Li Su glanced at her, he looked away, because the sea beasts rushed over again. This is the home ground of sea beasts, but Li Su's suppression in the sea is much smaller than that of other cultivators. In addition, Li Su set up a large array to gather sunlight from 1,000 miles around and attract it down, also to further reduce this suppression. This beam of light continued to flow down from the sky, and after the upper half of the seawater gathered again, there was no way to get close to it, because once it got close, it would be evaporated. The sea beasts have come. You guard the spring, and these guys are handed over to me. After Li Su said to more than a dozen nascent souls of the sea tribe, he moved his hand slightly, and immediately, the flying fairy swords were shot out intensively. The current flying immortal sword has already been refined by Li Su to the level of a high-grade treasure, and there are 96 pieces in a set. The ultimate treasure is not necessary. Li Su can only display 70% to 80% of its power when using high-grade treasures, but with middle-grade treasures, he can display its full power. 70 to 80% of the power of a high-grade treasure is also stronger than all the power of a middle-grade treasure. But if it is a top-grade treasure, it is better to use a middle-grade treasure. The power is limited and the consumption is extremely huge. Then he saw that those sea beasts that were rushing, under the attack of 96 flying fairy swords, were frantically reducing their numbers. With a movement of Li Su's hand, hundreds of mirrors appeared on his hand, and the beam of light falling from the sky shone in all directions, illuminating the seabed extremely brightly. Now, he was less suppressed on this seabed. Boom boom boom. Ah! The huge fifth-order blue dragon beast was trembling under Li Su's attack. This guy's skin is indeed very hard, and his strength is comparable to that of the third or fourth layer of Washan. However, as a sea beast, this guy's combat power is not as strong as that of a cultivator or a sea clan. The ink scales were able to block it before. When Mo Lin was facing Li Su, he was beaten miserably, but in fact, the strength of this Washan loli is still very strong. With the weak against the strong, she can persist for a long time in the hands of this 5th tier, 3rd tier, and 4th tier blue dragon beast. If it wasn't for another 5th order sea beast, she wouldn't be unstoppable. Li Sr. is so strong. Yeah. Why'd I feel that G Sr.'s experience has become stronger again? You feel right. Li Sr.'s aura is indeed stronger. Around the Beihai Spring, the strong men of the Beihai Sea Clan watched Li Su's battle, each with their tongues. Li Su stood there alone, and the surrounding sea beasts couldn't get close at all. The two 5th order sea beasts also showed more means. Not only are they rough and thick, but they also have some powerful means of attack. For example, When the Kanglong beast was fighting Molin, it kept hiding its hand. This guy has a strong ability to control water, and can cause the water to explode violently in an instant, and the power is also extremely impressive. It's a pity that when this guy launched a sudden attack, Li Su, who had been prepared for a long time, used the mirror of Yun to block him abruptly. Li Su has already refined all the magic treasures in his hand to the level of high-grade treasures. The cultivator in the god-forming stage is usually a low-grade or middle-grade treasure. The god transformation of the Sea Clan in the North Sea, like the Crabman god transformation, doesn't even have a treasure weapon, but uses a high-grade spiritual weapon, which is too pitiful. But the material of this guy's high-grade spirit weapon has reached the standard of a treasure weapon, but there is no one to refine it. He himself forcibly melted very good materials in a special volcano to create a top-grade spirit weapon level magic treasures. But the materials he used, for a powerful craftsman, could at least refine a handful of treasures. These sea beasts want to fight with Li Su, who has many treasures, but where is the opponent? Then he saw that, within a short time of fighting, the two fifth-order sea beasts were both suppressed and beaten by Li. During this process, Li Su used the blockade net formed by the flying immortal sword to block a large number of sea beasts rushing in, and these sea beasts came and died as many times as they came. Such a powerful Li Su made the Sea Clan powerhouses next to the Beihai Spring look at each other with awe. Inside, there is a concubine of Li Su, who is a beautiful snake like the Medusa in the anime that Li Su watched before traveling. Her eyes were filled with admiration. Mo Lin was also a little dumbfounded, because she found that Li Su's aura in this battle was too frightening. Although she is still in the early stage of the god of transformation, it hasn't been too long since she just ascended to the god of transformation. But there are also a few transformation gods in the Sea Clan. In Mo Lin's perception, Li Su is definitely not the early stage of Washan, at least. It's Washan middle stage. Li Su is so fast, he has reached the middle stage of Washan. The last time she was beaten terribly outside the Bixia sect, it hasn't been 30 years, has it? In this little time, Li Su actually rushed all the way to the Washan middle stage. Sky. After Mo Lin realized this, his head was filled with shock. She realized that it was possible that after she completes the blood of the real dragon, she might not be Li Su's opponent. Li Su's bloodline, no, she knows that Taoists don't talk about bloodlines, but spiritual roots. Li Su's spiritual roots, I'm afraid it's too strong. After realizing this, seeing that Li Su has far surpassed her now, Mo Lin, who is actually Loli's dragon girl, couldn't help but sighed faintly. In her life, she might not be able to find her way back. The battle continues. Two fifth-order sea beasts, combined with a large number of sea beasts, occupy an absolute advantage in number. And Li Su is only one person. From the outside, all the sea beasts have surrounded Li Su. But if you look a little more carefully, you will find it. The ones that are now surrounded are sea beasts. Li Su was alone, but he overcame thousands of troops and kept all these sea beasts out. There is only one end for Chang Chong, and that is death. If the two fifth-order sea beasts hadn't cooperated well with each other, Ji Su might have killed one of them. Nascent soul stage cultivator is very difficult to kill. This is relative. For Washan, it is not difficult to kill. Transformation god is more difficult to kill, easy to defeat, but difficult to kill. But this refers to the human cultivator. These sea beasts are naturally easier to deal with than human immortal cultivators, and their combat power is not as good as human cultivators of the same level. Of course, it's not an absolute thing. There are also some sea beasts with special abilities that are more difficult to deal with. The difficult thing about these two fifth-order sea beasts is that they can cooperate. One has a very powerful ability to control water, while the other constantly attacks with thunder. Both guys are rough-skinned and thick-skinned, and they are very large. The scales on their bodies are unusually thick, and their defensive power is astonishing. However, no matter how good the cooperation was, these two guys were beaten completely powerless when facing Li Su. No wonder it can't break its defense. Li Su soon discovered that the black dragon beast was abnormal. The outermost part of this guy is not scale armor, but a defensive magic treasures with a layer of difficult scale armor, that is, a pair of armor. This armor looks very similar to scale armor. If Li Su's attack was not too sharp, it would be difficult to detect the abnormality. The defensive power of this armor is astonishing, and even the flying immortal sword of the top-grade treasure level cannot be broken. Of course, being unable to break through does not mean that there is no way to take it. The attack of the Feishen sword itself is a flexible route. Li Su's continuous output of true energy is the key. Even if this Kanglong beast is powerful, comparable to the third or fourth layer of Washan, but where does it get such sharp defensive magic treasures? Take it down first. With a movement of Li Su's hand, a large number of formation flags rushed out, and at the same time, one after another Temin flew in all directions. He wants to trap this black dragon beast. Ah! The blue dragon beast seemed to have sensed the crisis, and began to retreat crazily. So alert. Boom. Li Su activated the talisman without any hesitation, but the Kanglong beast was too vigilant after all. Its eyes suddenly glowed red, and its speed increased a lot in an instant. It rushed away in an instant. Seeing that this guy ran away, Li Su didn't chase after him. As soon as the method changed, the attack of the talisman rushed towards another fifth-order sea beast. The sea beast that spewed out thunderlight was not as strong as the Azure Dragon Beast, nor as alert as the Azure Dragon Beast, and the Azure Dragon Beast ran away and sold this guy out. This guy couldn't stand it anymore, and was overwhelmed all of a sudden. In the bottom of the sea, around this fifth-order sea beast, a small sun instantly appeared. The surrounding sea beasts also suffered annihilation and were swept away by the three ministers. Very scary. This power stunned all the experts of the Sea Clan. When the light dissipated, many Sea Clan powerhouses saw that the fifth-order sea beast was not to mention how miserable it was. The thunderlight on its body had already disappeared, and the scale armor had already lost its demonic energy fluctuations, and it was motionless. As soon as Li Su moved his hand, dense golden threads appeared from all directions. The fifth-order sea beast wagged its tail and struggled. This guy actually pretended to be dead. However, it was useless. Li Su flicked his finger, and a talisman turned into a huge stick. With powerful power, it slammed into it, knocking the sea beast into a coma. The golden thread swept up, and the fifth-order sea beast was severely injured, unable to break free at all, so it was captured alive by Li Su. Once the fifth-order sea beast dies, although there are many other sea beasts, they are no match at all. The tide of sea beasts is still coming. But how much you come, how much you pay. The Sea Clan powerhouses also joined the battle one after another. After going on for a day, finally, a pale black, more ferocious, and bigger black flood dragon rushed over. Mo Chi is here. Other Zhao people also came one after another. Why are there only a few sea beasts left? Mo Chi was a little surprised. The news came from Molin before that the holy city was about to lose its hold. But now, there is actually nothing left of the sea beasts. Then, he knew why. Its benefactor. Mo Chi saw Li Su and was overjoyed. Benefactor's great kindness to our Sea Clan will never be forgotten by our Sea Clan.
The battle is over. With the arrival of reinforcements from the North Sea Sea Clan, the sea beasts were completely repelled.
In this wave of sea beasts, the sea beasts suffered heavy losses, and the threat to the sea people in the North Sea decreased day by day. After knowing that it was Li Su's arrival, all the people of the Sea Clan blocked the two fifth-order sea beasts and saved the Beihai Spring, and they were all very grateful. Li Su's kindness to the Sea Tribe in Beihai is too great. Moreover, in this battle, the Beihai Sea Clan saw Li Su's strength. With 1 against 2, a fifth-order middle-stage sea beast was beaten until it could only escape for its life, and the other fifth-order sea beast was captured alive by Li Su. This strength is truly terrifying. Mo Lin, although your true flood bloodlines have not been replenished, but the wedding can also be held first, and this matter will be decided by Grandpa. Mo Chi's voice sounded. Seeing that Li Su has shown great favor to the High Clan again, Mo Chi feels sorry for not marrying He Lin to Li Su again. Then he showed the majesty of his grandfather. Mo Lin's face turned red again, but this time, she didn't leave. Li Su couldn't help but glanced at the black dragon loli. Did she mean that she acquiesced? Although this loli is hundreds of years old, but with this petite body. Can I have a baby? Mo Sr., I will leave this sea beast to you. Let's see if you can find out something. The other fifth-order sea beast that ran away has a very powerful armor on it.
I feel that there is something strange about this matter. Quote.
After the matter was settled, Li Su looked at Mo Chi and said, It's not easy for a sea people to create magic treasures. Where did these sea beasts get such powerful armor? Yes, this matter is very strange. When the other High Clan experts heard Li Su's words, they also discussed in a skeptical tone. Li Su feels that this matter may have the shadow of those people who planned the North Sea and North Italy tens of thousands of years ago. Of course, he is not sure. After all, the Beihai Spring itself has a great influence on sea beasts. It is completely justified that the sea beasts riot caused by the spring of Beihai. The opponent released a sea beast comparable to the middle stage of the god of transformation, and put a very powerful armor on this sea beast, which means that it is stronger. Why not directly attack and destroy the North Sea clan? Could it be that the other party has some scruples, so they have been hiding in the dark? There are many questions. However, Li Su didn't know much about the situation in the sea, and the amount of information was too little to make a guess. Let the Beihai Sea clan deal with it. There are indeed some strange things. Thank you, benefactor, for reminding us. This incident has reminded us. We will pay more attention to the defense of the holy city in the future. Mo Chi said. The marriage between Li Su and Mo Lin has also been finalized and will take place in 3 months. Mo Lin didn't object anymore, but she also conveyed her condition through Bai Ling. That is, she does not want to give birth to offspring before the blood of the real dragon is completely replenished. Looking at it this way, her true bloodline has not been fully completed. At this point, there is nothing wrong with it. This time, when the Jiaoran race married a daughter, it was Mo Lin, the Washan, who had the blood of a true flood. In order to show the importance attached to Mo Lin, invitations were also widely distributed. When they heard that Li Su was going to marry the Washan of the Sea clan again, all the cultivators in the northern border were amazed again. While Li Su was preparing for the wedding, he received a surprise message from Fang.
Sect leader Shangguanzu, breakthrough transformation.
After getting the news, Li Su rushed to Fei Shenzong immediately. Fei Shenzong. When Li Su arrived, the place had already become extremely lively. A large number of Fei Shenzong disciples, including those who have been closed-door training all the year round, have already come out. The big formation of Fei Shenzong has been opened, and only tokens above elder can enter and exit.
Ordinary disciples cannot enter or leave. The area of the current Fei Shenzong is many times larger than that at the beginning.
After the merger of the 3 sects, the blessed land owned by Fei Shenzong was also expanded. This large formation was also reinforced by Li Su himself, and it was able to deal with Wazan's attack. Over the years, some spirit stones mines have been found from time to time in the northern border, and Fei Shenzong is naturally qualified to participate in the distribution. When distributing, due to Li Su's detached status, the ferry gates in the north will also calculate a large portion, which belongs to Li Su. Theoretically speaking, as long as the energy can be guaranteed, this kind of sect protecting array can't be broken by Washan. Li Elder is here. Wow, I finally met Li Elder. In Fei Shenzong, with the entry of Li Su, a large number of disciples were attracted by Li Su. The current Fei Shenzong recruits quite a few disciples, and because of Li Su's influence, immortal cultivators from the Jingbai region will also come to Fei Shen. Li Su didn't stop, and came all the way to the back mountain. Li Elder, beyond the back mountain, the gold cores of Fei Shenzong are also guarding here. Fei Shenzong has not yet born a new nascent soul. However, Li Su gave each of the former Liyang sect master and the 7-star Valley master a very high-quality infant formation pill. Both of them are currently in closed-door training. There might be hope of reaching nascent soul. Li Su nodded slightly in return, and then entered the back mountain. Here, apart from the head and her aunt, only Ji Su can enter. Soon, Li Su appeared in the great hall in the back mountain. Xiaoshui. Building a fairy foundation is not that easy. Without immortal qi, the success rate of building a fairy foundation is very low. This process lasts for a long time, and it will also produce a special kind of fluctuation. In case it is attacked by some powerful demonic beasts or devil cultivator, or if that woman notices, you are in danger. As soon as he entered, Li Su heard the voice of the head aunt.
Both the head and the aunt of the head noticed Li Su.
The two turned their heads at the same time. Master. Li Su looked at the head of the sect. From his perception, the aura of the head of the sect had indeed reached aura.
Judging from this, the head of the sect hasn't survived the thunder disaster yet.
Li Su, you are here. When the headmaster saw Li Su, his eyes became brighter. Xiaoshui, I'll go to deal with Zhongli's affairs first. The ant in charge quietly left. In the Great Hall, only Li Su and the leader are left. Master, congratulations on your breakthrough transformation. Li Su looked at the master and said, the head of the breakthrough this time, the speed of Washan is indeed a little fast.
She has been in closed-door training for less than 30 years, and rushed all the way to Washan.
Fairy spiritual roots are indeed scary, thanks. The leader also seemed a little happy, but on the whole, it is still very calm. This shows to a certain extent that the mysterious family where the head belongs is astonishingly powerful, and there are 100% experts above or even stronger than Washan. That's why the sect leader was so indifferent after breaking through himself. Master, what does reason mean? Li Su asked curiously. After a few seconds of silence, the leader said, this is something only immortal spiritual roots can do. Then, she looked at Li Su. Li Su, you should know that foundation establishment is the entry into the room and the starting point of cultivation. Li Su nodded. After foundation establishment, one can officially enter the door of cultivation. As for the gas refining period, strictly speaking, it is only equivalent to a reserve stage. The head continued. If the entire cultivation process is divided into two, then the transformation of the gods, to a certain extent, is the starting point of becoming an immortal. Transformation into a god, the starting point of becoming a fairy? Transformation god is indeed powerful, but compared with the legendary immortal, it is naturally separated by thousands of miles. Immortal spiritual roots are rare in 10,000 years. Every fairy spiritual root is the darling of the heavens. During the thunder calamity of the god transformation period, there will be a trace of special energy in the calamity thunder. If I can use this ray of energy to integrate into the primordial spirit, I can turn my primordial spirit into a purple gold color, thereby building an immortal foundation, and it will be easier to become an immortal through transcend tribulation in the future. The head told all the situation in one breath. This is Zuxianji. Purple gold primordial spirit. Li Su couldn't help but think of On Yuanshan, isn't it the purple gold color? His primordial spirit is not only purple gold, but also extremely powerful, much stronger than the Washan primordial spirit of the same level. Doesn't this mean that Li Su has actually built a fairy foundation? Those more than 5,000 points of god building energy are well spent. Master, can you let me take a look at your primordial spirit? Li Su thought for a while and spoke. He wanted to know the difference between the primordial spirit he had spent more than 5,000 points of god building energy to build, and the primordial spirit of Master, the genius of the fairy spiritual roots. What was the difference?
It is good. After the headmaster finished speaking, a translucent primordial spirit, exactly the same as her, appeared on top of her head.
Li Su saw that the head of the current Yuanshan was not purple gold, but light gold. The strength of Yuanshan is much weaker than when he was at the first level of Washan, which is about 1/10 of his strength at the first level of Washan. From this point of view, his Zijin primordial spirit is really strong. The more than 5,000 points of cultivating energy can represent several thousand years of cultivation base, plus several thousand years of experience. The genius of the immortal spiritual roots who is in charge, Yuanshan is far inferior to him, let alone others. Li Su gave her a lot of medicine pills in order to make the leader of Breakthrough Washan stronger. When the sect leader's foundation was damaged, he spent hundreds of years before nascent soul, and those hundreds of years were not in vain. Her soul is actually very powerful. In short, the primordial spirit who is in charge of the sect is probably a little bit stronger than other immortal spiritual roots. Okay, Master. Li Su said. The primordial spirit in charge returned to his body. Master, after building the immortal foundation successfully, the primordial spirit will become stronger than Zijin primordial spirit? Li Su asked. The leader said, it will probably increase by about 80%. 80% is also a good increase. Although it's a little risky, I've already decided to build an immortal foundation. Li Su, you should set up your formation first. When I build an immortal foundation, the thunder tribulation will become stronger, which should allow you to collect a lot of thunder.
Master said. She also remembered that Li Su needed to collect thunder.
At the beginning, Li Su used the thunder calamity when she broke through nascent soul to refine a Zishao god thunder, which dealt Yu a fatal blow. Master, if there is immortal qi, will the success rate be higher? Li Su asked again. The leader said, only in the sacred land can you have a chance to obtain immortal chi. Without immortal chi, it is not necessarily a failure. Li Su took out a small bottle. Master, since that's the case, I'll use this wisp of immortal chi for you. This is exactly the strand of immortal chi obtained by Yue. Yue originally planned to use this strand of immortal chi to break through the god transformation. The role of immortal chi, from this point of view, besides making the devil cultivator's thunder tribulation less powerful, it also has some other miraculous effects for cultivators. Therefore, Li Su is ready to be used by the master. As for Yu, Li Su can solve her thunder tribulation. Immortal chi is used to help her reduce the power of thunder tribulation, but it is actually a waste. The headmaster felt the special charm contained in the immortal chi in the bottle, and there was some surprise on his pretty face. Li Su, where did you get it? Li Su said, Master, do you still remember the Holy Order? The Holy Order is related to immortal chi. The head of the sect didn't know the role of the Holy Decree. Although she came from a mysterious family, after all, she left the family when she was young. This immortal chi is of great use in getting through Diva's 5 declines, so keep it. The headmaster's eyes stayed on the bottle for a few seconds, then he looked away and said. As soon as her words fell, Li Su forced the bottle into her hand. Master, take it, you can rest assured to build an immortal foundation. I will protect the Dharma for you, no matter what monsters and snakes will be attracted. All to the courtiers. After speaking, the aura belonging to the 5th layer of Washan was revealed from Li Su's body. As his aura was revealed, the eyes of the sect masters slowly changed. She didn't expect that. Li Su's strength has risen so fast. Although she herself is only a supernatural being, she cannot accurately grasp Li Su's current realm. But in her perception, Su is at least the middle stage of the god transformation now. In less than 30 years of her closed-door training, Li Su has reached the middle stage of Washan. At this time, Li Su, in her eyes, was once again covered with a mysterious halo. The head found that she was getting more and more unable to understand Li. And Li Su treats her better and better. So good that even if the sect leader wanted to repay, he didn't know how to repay. Li Su. Master, go prepare with peace of mind. I also need to make some preparations. If your enemy wants to come, leave it to me. Even if he is above the god transformation, if he dares to disturb Master, let him come and go. Li Su said lightly. Above Washan, there is no return. This sentence can be described as very arrogant. Among immortal cultivators, the strength gap of each realm is too great. Even a top genius can generally only be invincible or pose a certain threat to the strong of the previous realm early stage when a realm is at its peak. No matter how strong Li Su is, he is only at the 5th level of Washan. There is still a long way to go from the peak of Washan. This made even the head of the sect unable to keep his gaze on Li Su's face. Inexplicable. The leader thinks. Li Su has that strength and confidence. Li Su. In the heart of the door, I want to move. Master, there is no need to say more. We will see you in Mangkang Mountain in a month. We will talk about the rest after you succeed. Li Su said softly, he is going to do some preparations. Over the years, Li Su's formation attainments are also constantly improving, and he is not idle. Although he still has no way to get the fairy artifact fragments from Mangkang Mountain, Li Su has already done a deep research on the natural feng shui formation. The reason why Li Su dared to say that even if one came to Washan, he could make the other party come and go, was not a big talk. The current Dian sword formation has no problem dealing with deity transformation. Even if it is at the peak of deity transformation, once trapped in it, you will have to peel off your skin if you are not dead. But it's not good enough to deal with Washan. It's just that Li Su already had another method, which is to use this natural feng shui large array to form an array. What he set up was not a killing formation, but a trapping formation and an illusion formation. As long as the opponent is trapped here, so that the opponent cannot escape in a short time, he can use the big formation to lead the opponent to the magnetic barrier bit by bit. With the help of Phantom once the opponent attacks, what awaits him is the counterattack of the entire natural feng shui formation and fairy artifact fragments. This counterattack, the Washan above may not be able to resist it. Li Su had already made some preparations. He came to Mangkang Mountain and arranged them. Time passed quickly. A month later, the head and her aunt appeared in Mangkang Mountain. The speed of the two was very fast. After seeing Li Su, they flew over from a distance. In the sky, black clouds have already formed into pieces. Thunder tribulation is coming. The head didn't have time to talk too much with Li Su. Master, this way. Li Su played the magic decision and pointed out the position for the leader. The master flew over. The first thunderstorm has come. Li Su. The ant in charge also came. Thanks to you this time, Xiaoshui's construction of the immortal foundation this time may cause a lot of commotion, and the powerhouses above the late stage of the god of transformation in a large area nearby may be alarmed. If an enemy strikes, everything is up to you. The ant in charge said sincerely. Then, she took out a talisman and handed it to Li Su. This one has almost reached the threshold of the Tao talisman, and there is true energy in it. After it is activated, it will be destroyed within an hour unless you use the Tao item. Otherwise no one can hurt you, and I only have one, so I will leave it to you for self-defense. Talisman. The level of the talisman may also be applied to the level of the magic treasures, and the Tao talisman is quite a Tao item. This talisman is about to reach the standard of Tao talisman, and its power may not be so great. Li Su took it over. In Li Su's opinion, this talisman is of great research value. If he can study it thoroughly, he should be able to imitate it. I'll hide it first to avoid being discovered by the strong people who came over, so that Xiaoshui's identity can be seen through, and it will cause trouble for Xiaoshui. The ant in charge saw Li Su put away the talisman, said something, then quickly flew into the distance, and soon disappeared. She was really hiding it. Boom, thunder tribulation is still going on. The entire thunder tribulation generally lasts for more than an hour at most. When it lasted halfway, Li Su saw that the sect master had used that wisp of immortal qi. With her use, there seems to be a special energy attracted and absorbed by her in the tribulation thunder. Chang watched. At present, there is not much movement here. The lightning tribulation of transforming God is too far away to be felt at all. The fairy gates in the northern border cannot perceive it. After more than an hour, Lei Jia was completely defeated by the leader. Li Su saw that the head was already sitting there, and there was no movement on her body. Success, or failure? Li Su thought. He was observing while refining Zishao Shenlei through Thunderbolt. In this way, after a few days, finally, there was a new change. From her body, a strange wave radiated in all directions. This wave was so strange, if Li Su hadn't possessed the Zijin primordial spirit, he might not have been able to perceive it. This fluctuation, the ordinary transformation spirit, can't perceive it. But if it is at the late stage of the God transformation, or above the God transformation, it should be able to perceive it. If any fairy gate has a special sacred artifact, maybe it can be monitored. This movement is indeed big enough. Although a large number of ordinary cultivators know nothing about it. But being able to disturb the strong is more of a big movement than disturbing ordinary cultivators. I'm afraid that even the powerhouses in the first-rank fairy gate of Zhangzhou will be alarmed. Have you heard that someone traveled to the northern border and said that there was a genius there, who became the god of transformation at the age of 200 or so? Of course I've heard it. This news can't be true. There are more than 200-year-old Washan power. We in Zhangzhou have many immortal sects and countless geniuses. We rarely hear about geniuses who have achieved Washan for more than 200 years. Yeah. I also think it's a bit absurd. It's said that Washan power likes to take concubines and has countless concubines. He also said that even women from the high tribe have been brought into the family. This is simply ridiculous. When the sect leader built the immortal base in the Mangkang Mountain, it was located in Zhangzhou, south of the northern border. In an extremely prosperous fairy city, a news has spread quietly. This news was obviously related to Jisoo. The distance between Zhangzhou and the northern border is extremely long, and there are many dangerous places in between. Not to mention ordinary people and the like, it is the foundation establishment cultivator. It takes years to travel from the central province to the northern territory, and they may encounter various dangers and die on the road. In addition, Zhangzhou is extremely standard. In the eyes of Zhangzhou cultivators, the northern border is too barren, and there are no famous cultivators. Although the other realms are not as good as Zhangzhou, each realm has at least one second-rank fairy gate. Among these fairy gates, there are still some strong people or geniuses who have a lot of fame in Zhangzhou. What about the North? In many people's minds, the Northern Territory is only a god of power. Although this Washan power is powerful, it is said that its potential is limited. In Gaiyuanzong, its current status is only equivalent to an outer sect elders. None of them could enter the core of Gaiyuanzong's power. Many immortal cultivators in Zhongzhou don't even know the name of this Washan power, and they don't have much interest in knowing it. Besides, not much news came from the northern border. There are very few people who travel to the northern border, not even one in 100 years. However, this time, I don't know who brought back the news from the northern border. This news also spread rapidly in some fairy cities in Zhongzhou. The main reason is that this news is a bit too ridiculous in the eyes of many Zhongzhou cultivators. There is actually a 200-year-old Washan power in the Northern Territory? Sky. Zhongzhou is so prosperous that throughout the ages, few people have been able to become gods in their 200s. Forget about the 200-year-old Washan. This deity does not particularly like Nazan. In the description of this message, the other party is either taking a concubine, or on the way to take a concubine. However, this news is still certain that the other party is not cultivating through supplementary methods, because the other party has hundreds of thousands of descendants. This is outrageous. How can there be such a transformation power? Zhongzhou's well-known Washan power, who didn't cut off the fate of the world, practiced hard. There is also Washan power with Dao companion, but the opponent is very specific, and there is only one Dao companion. A Washan power who is more than 200 years old and is still taking concubines, sounds fake at first glance. Who believes it? Therefore, although the news spread quickly and widely, after it spread, many cultivators took it as an anecdote and didn't take it seriously. Xiaoyu, do you think this news is true or false? In Immortal City, many cultivators were discussing this news. In an extremely magnificent white jade great hall floating in the sky, a voice sounded. Here is the largest fairy gate in Zhongzhou. First rank Xianmen, Guiyuanzong. The main peak of Gaiyuanzong is too high, tens of thousands of feet high. Around its main peak, there are 9 mountain ranges coming together from different directions. Bixiazong is only 3 mountains. However, Gaiyuanzong had 9 mountain ranges, forming a pattern of 9 dragons converging. These 9 mountain ranges, 3 big and 6 small, are distributed at intervals. Each of the 9 mountain ranges also has a main peak, which guards the main peak of Gaiyuanzong. At this time, the white jade great hall that rang the sound was located on the main peak of a large mountain range. Above the white jade great hall, there are several large characters, Butterfly Cloud Palace. Here, this is Daiyan Peak, one of the 3 great peaks of Gaiyuanzong. Peak Master. This disciple feels that this news should not be true. Even if the opponent's spiritual roots is really heaven-defying, it is impossible to grow so fast in the northern border. If it's really a fairy spiritual roots, it was snatched by the major sacred lands early in the morning, so how could they be left outside? Xiaoyu, who was wearing a green coat, expressed her own opinion. The one called the Peak Master by him is a woman in a light green long dress who seems to be integrated with the surrounding world. That's right, that's all. Xiaoyu, starting from this year, I will be in charge of Zhongzhou for the next 500 years. You and Xiaoqui should pay more attention to the movement around you during these 500 years. Dai Yunfang led the way. Yes, Peak Master. Xiaoyu said respectfully. Okay, why don't you go down? Dai Yunfang was halfway through speaking, but he noticed something. She stopped, and the divine sense had already spread out, protruding in all directions. An unknown number of miles around her was covered by her divine sense, but she didn't move the source of the strange fluctuations. This fluctuation. Doubt appeared in Dai Yunfang's eyes. Could someone be building a fairy foundation? Immediately, her expression changed, and she suddenly thought of something. With a flash of her figure, she took Xiaoyu and left here, appearing on Gaiyuan Sect Leader Peak. Fix the Elder, open the Universe Division. Yes, Peak Master Daiyan. Accompanied by a rumbling sound, an extremely huge, spiral-like magic treasures was opened. Inside, it seems that there are stars floating, sinking and revolving. What direction? Peak Lord, it should be the northern border. North. Peak Master Daiyan looked to the north, and the rumors she had just heard emerged in her mind. Xiao Shu, I'll go out for a while. If something happens, use the return order, and the other 2 Peak Masters will leave the customs. Dai Yun gave Xiao Shu a small token, and his whole body turned into a stream of light, soaring into the sky, and quickly disappeared into the sky. This fluctuation, is it possible that some great genius has appeared in the northern border? No, I have to go and see, and I can't be preempted by Gui Yuanzong. While Dai Yunfeng was taking the initiative, someone on the other side also quietly moved out. Not many people were awakened by the movement caused by the sect master building the Immortal Foundation this time. Shenyan. This is building the Immortal Foundation. She is the only one in the last 500 years of immortal spiritual roots. It is definitely her. After searching so many places, I didn't expect her to be in this area. Great, this time it's time for a business trip. On the vast sea, a figure showed joy on his face, and then took out a magic treasures, leading him to rush to the northern border at an extremely fast speed. Boom. In the sky, a huge thunderbolt struck down. The headmaster's expression remained unchanged, and he cast out magic treasures to disperse them. The power of this thunderbolt is much greater. This is the danger of building a fairy foundation. Only immortal spiritual roots can build immortal foundations. Other spiritual roots, even first-rank spiritual roots, cannot build immortal foundations. The danger lies in the fact that the sect leader's god transformation thunder tribulation has clearly ended, but in the process of her building the immortal foundation, there are constant thunderstorms. The power of this thunderbolt is much stronger than that of the transformation god thunder tribulation. Moreover, one is more powerful than the other. The present one is already the third one. The power of this thunderbolt has far surpassed the biggest lightning calamity in the god transformation thunder tribulation. Its power is almost equal to the tribulation thunder that Yu Yu is facing. A few more shots, the power will surpass Yu Yu. The current head of the sect is facing a more dangerous situation than Yu Yu. Yu Yue can deal with Lei Jia with all her strength, but the head of the sect can't. During the process of building the immortal foundation, her primordial spirit can't produce too much fluctuation. The longer the head delays, the more dangerous it will be. Now, it is the 10th day. Headmaster has yet to succeed. After 10 days passed, the northern border was peaceful. The fluctuation caused by building the immortal foundation, the cultivator in the north, is not even qualified to perceive it. Seeing the big and dangerous movement of the leader Zhu Shanji, Li Su couldn't help but have more confidence in owning Goldfinger. Even if the sect leader builds an immortal base, her spirit is far inferior to that of Li Su when she was in the same realm. Li Su's Zijin Yuanshan can be said to be the only one. You must know that there are very few immortal spiritual roots, and it is rare to find them in an area. Only the fairy spiritual roots can build a fairyland, and barely make their own soul become a purple gold soul. According to the head's description, Li Su can roughly guess the situation after the head's primordial spirit built the fairy foundation. One is the primordial spirit who is in charge. When he was with Realm, he was far inferior to Li Su's primordial spirit. Second, there is a 100% gap between the purple gold primordial spirit of the master and Li Su's purple gold primordial spirit. Moreover, when Li Su's primordial spirit condensed into the purple gold primordial spirit, there was not much movement. This is great. Too much noise is sometimes not a good thing, especially if there is no strong background. Like this time, the head is facing many unpredictable risks. Li Su has already become alert. He even made the Li family in the Shueui Gate open a large formation and hide themselves. Time passed little by little, and soon, another day passed. Nothing is best. Li Su glanced around, and divine sense has completely covered the surrounding area for thousands of miles. His divine sense, if it probes in one direction, it will naturally go farther. But what Li Su needs now is to form a warning circle around the surrounding area, covering thousands of miles, and the effect is the best. Someone. After the calm day passed, Li Su noticed early the next morning that someone had entered within 1,000 miles. He spotted me. On the other side, Peak Master Dian, who was hiding in the dark, was a little surprised. She was the first to rush here. After arriving here, she prepared to hide in the dark and observe the situation first, but she never thought that Li Su would notice the abnormality as soon as she was within 1,000 miles. Who is he? After Li Su noticed Peak Lord Dian naturally also noticed Li Su. Then, she didn't move forward. At the same time, Peak Master Dian was wondering who Ji Li was. Li Su gave her the feeling that she was just turning into a god. A deity transformation can actually detect her existence. She is one of the 3 peak masters of Gaiyuanzong, and one of the 3 peak powerhouses in Gaiyuanzong other than the head. But Li Su can sense her existence thousands of miles away. Although he only noticed the abnormality, he didn't notice any more specific information. But it's also amazing. Not to mention Zhongzhou, even the other 3 realms combined, she has never seen such a transformation spirit. Peak Lord Dian naturally didn't know at this time that this god transformation was the god transformation power from the northern border that she had heard about when she was in Zhongzhou. Could it be that he is that Jisoo? Peak Master Dian couldn't help thinking. Immediately, she sensed another aura, and that aura also belonged to a transformation god. To her, the distance of thousands of miles can be said to be extremely close. At such a short distance, Peak Master Dian also affirmed the source of that strange fluctuation. That is from another god transformation, is her. Peak Master Dian saw the head of the sect, Shangguanshui. Doubt suddenly appeared in her heart. Why did another god transformation pop up? And it was actually this god transformation who was building an immortal tomb. Doesn't this mean that this avatar is the immortal spiritual roots? Then before coming to the northern border, who was the deity named Li Su in the rumors she heard? Could it be this Washin who stood by and noticed her coming? Even if. Then where did the avatar of the fairy spiritual roots come from? Many cultivators of the 4th rank spiritual roots are unwilling to stay in the northern border after they have cultivated to gold core or higher. A fairy spiritual roots, the possibility of native to the north is too low. Moreover, the birth of fairy spiritual roots will attract the attention of sacred land, and sacred land will become a fairy spiritual roots, and a war may even break out. It is almost impossible to have a fairy spiritual roots wandering outside. So, Peak Master Dian immediately felt that the immortal spiritual roots female cultivator who was building the immortal foundation should come from other regions. Possibly even from a sacred land. It is very likely that the other party broke through the transformation god during the journey, and then took advantage of the opportunity to build an immortal foundation in the northern border. And the avatar guarding her may also come from another area, and it is the protector of this female cultivator. In sacred land, some top geniuses will arrange some powerful guardians. That is to protect the other party in secret, and take action at some critical moments to resolve the crisis for the other party. Of course, in general crises, guardians will not take action. This also seems to explain why this protector is so big. The other party, from sacred land, who can defend the Tao for a genius of spiritual roots, must have something extraordinary. Although Peak Master Dian faintly felt that this protector was a bit amazingly strong, this was already the most reasonable explanation. Thinking about it this way, Peak Master Dian figured it out. It's a pity, if it's a cultivator from the north, it would be fine. Look at the situation first, and then go and see what's going on with that Li Su. Peak Lord Dian has a plan. This time, anyway, she went to the northern border by the way, so she was going to find out everything about Li Su after seeing the situation of the 2 sacred land disciples. Therefore, Peak Lord Dian stayed within Jisu's perception range. There was no advance, no retreat, no further concealment. This represents an attitude, that is, she is only attracted by the noise, and has a look at the situation, and has no bad intentions. Someone is here again. At this time, Peak Master Dian sensed the arrival of others. Her eyes looked in one direction. There is nothing. But Peak Master Dian can be sure that there is a person hiding there. This fellow Taoist, since we have both sensed each other and been sensed by that Washin, we don't have to hide anymore, how about it? A figure appeared from there. Peak Master Dian saw that the other party was the head of a 2nd-rank fairy sect called Tian Luo sect located in the east, and his strength was only weaker than hers. In most fairy sects, under normal circumstances, the head of the sect is the strongest. There are also some exceptions in some immortal sects, and there are stronger ones behind the scenes. Especially some sacred land, the background is extremely strong. After the other party spoke, Peak Lord Dian appeared. It turned out to be the Lord Dian, but unexpectedly, the Lord Dian also came here in person. Unfortunately, these 2 people are very likely to be from sacred land. Tinluo sect leader said. Apparently, he also made a similar guess. Because Li Su also noticed his existence. After discovering that the divine sense of Li Su, a powerhouse who transforms gods, is surprisingly strong, the sect leader discovered the sect leader who was building an immortal foundation, so it was hard not to make similar speculations. This naturally made him feel sorry. Although his celestial sect is a giant in the East, there are countless cultivators in the entire East who want to join his ministers. But the attraction for Sacred Land disciples is too low. Don't talk about his fairy gate. Even Gui Yuanzong, who is very close to Sacred Land, has a pitifully low attraction to the disciples of Sacred Land. The first-rank Xianmen is said to be close to Sacred Land. How can it compare with the real Sacred Land? When any Sacred Land disciple walks outside, except for some daring devil cultivators, other fairy sects are not willing to provoke them at all. These disciples often have rare life-saving cards on them. The Sacred Land disciples above the level of deity transformation even left things like soul lamps in the Sacred Land. If someone kills the disciple of Sacred Land, it is very difficult to hide from anyone. As long as Sacred Land is willing to pay the price, it is not too difficult to find the person who killed the disciple of Sacred Land. Of course, in the past, there were also cases where Sacred Land disciples died without a medical condition after being killed. No matter how Sacred Land is, it is not omnipotent. It's just that there are very few people who dare to attack the disciples of Sacred Land. Because of this, Sacred Land is too attractive to cultivator. Peak Master Dian looked at Mangkang Mountain from a distance, but did not answer him. However, I heard that there is a genius named Li Su in the Northern Territory. After watching the excitement this time, I am going to see if this Li Su is as strange as the rumors say. Tinluo sect leader didn't mind the attitude of Peak Lord Dian at all, and continued. His words gave Peak Master Dian a sense of urgency. Because, the news of Li Su not only spread throughout Zhongzhou, but it also seemed to spread to the east. However, in the Eastern Territory, there are probably not many people who believe it. After all, this news is really outrageous. It's just that Tinluo sect leader's idea is the same as that of Dian Peak Lord, and they are here, so let's take a look. From his attitude, it is not difficult to see that Tinluo sect leader may not have much hope. This also made Dai Yunfang feel a little relieved. If Li Su's news is fake, then it is needless to say. If it is true, Gui Yuanzong also has an advantage. It's just that, in order to compete for geniuses, these second-rank fairy sects often have some matching methods. If this Li Su is really so powerful and likes taking concubines so much, it doesn't matter if I marry a few core disciples from our sect to him, and I can even have a few more beautiful daughters to marry him. Tinluo sect leader said with a hee-hee smile. Sure enough, too. Peak Master Dian really didn't want to talk to him. Peak Master Dian, Tinluo sect leader, your speed is really fast. At this time, another voice sounded. Another second-rank fairy sect head has arrived. This is the second-rank fairy gate located in the west, the head of Xuanshan Academy. So far, in a short period of time, there have been 3 powerhouses above the transformation god. The strongest one is still Peak Lord Dian. People from Zhongzhou, east and west have come. At present, only the southern border has not yet come. The distance between the north and the south is the farthest from the north, and there is a Zhongzhou in the middle. Even if someone comes, it is estimated that they will have to wait another 10 days. Unfortunately, we have to make this trip for nothing. I don't know which sacred land these 2 people are from. How did they travel to the northern border? The head of Xuanshan Academy flapped a folding fan, and said with regret. His words made Tinluo sect leader realize that the news of Li Su might not have reached the western region yet. In a tacit understanding, neither Tinluo sect leader nor Dian Peak Master mentioned anything about Li Su. 3. On the other side, Li Su whispered. These 3 people, the 2 in front, were all detected by him in advance. The one behind, perhaps seeing the 2 in front, didn't do anything to hide it, so Li Su was naturally more likely to notice it. At this moment, the 3 of them gathered together within the scope of his perception circle. Apparently, they are people who know each other. Is it the late stage of the god transformation, or above the god transformation? The possibility of becoming a god is higher. 3 strong void refiners? Li Su guessed the opponent's strength. After the 7th or 8th level of god transformation, he can also detect the fluctuation of the head of Zhu Shanji, but the other party may not be able to guess what the fluctuation is doing. It may not be able to accurately guess the direction of this fluctuation. These three people not only came quickly, but also came so accurately. From Lee Su's point of view, the possibility of becoming a god is higher than that of Washan. On top of transforming spirits is refining emptiness. The gap between refining the void and transforming the gods is also extremely large. Of course, unlike gold core to nascent soul, or nascent soul to Washan, a qualitative change in Yuanshan is required. After the refining period, the primordial spirit is still the primordial spirit, but the primordial spirit will become extremely powerful and have other mysteries. Refining void. Although those three people might be Lianshu, Li Su didn't feel nervous or oppressed. This time, he has enough confidence. The position of the head is very particular. As long as the opponent dares to enter this area, then Li Su will be sure, so that the opponent will have to peel off his skin even if he does not die. The opponent attacked from too far away. Li Su was even less afraid. Even if it is above Washan, the power of the attack will be affected if it is too far away. Especially magical attacks. And if the other party uses magic treasures, the Yuan-Si pill in Li Su's hand, it can make the other party unable to cry. This Yuan magnetic pill, the Yuan magnetic storm emitted by Hua Shen Shang, can definitely be blocked or even suppressed forcibly if the distance is not far away. But if you are far away, the opponent's magic treasures will come and go. Seeing that the three people on the opposite side didn't move, Li Su didn't make any reaction either. In this way, another 3 days passed, still without success. The fourth thunder tribulation came, and this thunder tribulation was more than doubled in strength compared to the third one. The head still defeated it. Someone is coming again. Hide first. At this time, above the three transformation gods, they noticed someone coming again. All three chose to hide at the same time. In the distance, a stream of light rushed across thousands of miles in an instant, and rushed over quickly. This streamer was aggressive and charged straight over. Soon, the streamer approached the range of thousands of miles, and rushed towards the door at an extremely fast speed. Peak of God transformation. The three avatars detected each other's strength at the same time. This is a strong man at the pinnacle of transformation. Moreover, it seems that the intention of coming is not good. Otherwise, why would the opponent rush over like this? The three transformation gods looked at the same time, and saw that the streamer was already approaching the door. As expected, it was you, Dongfang Shui, haha, Huang Tian paid off, and finally let me find you. As soon as the streamer approached, he saw the head. Even though the head's face was covered with mist, he still recognized the head at the first time. No, it's that woman's man. Secretly, when the hidden ant head saw this person, her face changed drastically. This person is exactly that woman's person. That woman was extremely powerful in the family hundreds of years ago. But at that time, that woman was still subject to a lot of constraints. It is precisely because of these constraints that the head of the sect was able to escape from the family smoothly when he was still weak. But after hundreds of years, this woman's status in the family has become higher and higher, and the other party has used the power of the family to win over many strong people. But in order to find the head and eliminate future troubles, the other party actually sent a transformation god Peak to search for the head all over the world. When he was still in charge of Zhu Shanji, this guy happened to notice him. While the guy was speaking, his aura was fully displayed, and a magic talisman was activated, which instantly sealed off the surrounding area. This is for fear that the master will escape. As the peak of god transformation, this guy is so cautious. The three transformation gods were obviously also attracted by this scene. They didn't speak, and waited and watched. In their minds, Li Su and the leader are both disciples of sacred land, but now there is a peak transformation god coming, so they naturally want to see how it will develop next. Li Su, he wants to kill Xiaoshui, stop him. If you dare to kill Xiaoshui, I will tell the ancestor what you have done. At that time, you will only die. The ant in charge couldn't sit still anymore. She flew up from a distance, and said loudly. Is he Li Su? The words of the head ant made Daiyan Peak Master and Tinluo sect leader look at Li Su at the same time, and there was doubt in their eyes again. They thought they were disciples of sacred land. Hey, you've been away from the family for too long, don't you know? My master gave birth to a natural body. Spiritual roots is also the first rank. You and your clansmen have already lost power. The coming peak of Washan laughed. Today is your death day." After finishing speaking, his hands moved, and countless sharp blades appeared in the sky. But as soon as his voice fell, he sensed the crisis. In front of him, a powerful and terrifying technique has attacked. This technique is not too fancy, it is more like an upright attacking mushroom. District Transformation God Middle Stage. The Peak of Washan smiled contemptuously, pinched his fists with both hands, and used the same type of technique to attack Li Su. A God Transformation Middle Stage, without surprise soldiers, dare to fight him head-on? This is equivalent to two martial forest masters directly fighting for internal energy in a TV series. How could he be cowardly? Boom! The two terrifying attacks collided together, and the terrifying fluctuations caused were swept in all directions, and the clouds with a radius of thousands of miles were swept away. How is this possible? In the next second, with the exclamation of the Peak of Washan Peak, he quickly used many methods. But still too late. From the moment he underestimated the enemy, it was already too late. Puff. Accompanied by the sound of vomiting blood, the peak of the transformation god flew out. In the process of flying backwards, he quickly hit the spell, and finally removed all the power of that blow, and the whole person landed stably within dozens of miles. Puff. Then, this peak transformation god spat out another mouthful of blood, and at the same time forcibly suppressed the injuries in his body with his true energy. Otherwise he would have to vomit blood. How can it be so strong? His eyes were horrified. This is not generally strong. But it's ridiculously strong. A god transformation middle stage fought him head on, and beat him to the best of his ability, and even spat out 2 mouthfuls of blood. Even if there is a factor of him underestimating the enemy, this may not be too strong. Strike the peak at the middle stage, as expected of a person in sacred land. I don't know which sacred land this person comes from, but after this matter, we can make some friends. Thousands of miles away, the head of Xuanshan Academy's eyes lit up seeing that Peak of Washan was knocked upside down by Li Su for dozens of miles, and even vomited 2 mouthfuls of blood. I even forgot to fan the folding fan in my hand. Although the ant in charge called out Li Su's name, the Xuanshan Academy had never heard of Li Su's name. Could he be the Li Su from the north? The eyes of Daiyan Peak Master and Tinluo sect leader also lit up. They also do not understand the situation. I don't know if this Li Su in the middle stage of the god transformation is the Li Su whose name has been passed down to Zhongzhou and the Eastern Realm, or who is from the sacred land, but the name just happens to be Li Su. Possibly the same name, Dai Yunfang thought. Because according to the news spread in Zhongzhou, Li Su became the god of transformation, that is, decades ago. It seems impossible to reach the middle stage of Washan in a few decades. What's more, this Li Su is still so strong. Hitting the peak with the middle stage, he beat the opponent until he vomited 2 mouthfuls of blood. How can this be done by ordinary deities? Tinluo sect leader's eyes flickered, and he also had a similar thought. Both decided to observe and observe again. At the same time, they didn't say anything more, to avoid associating with the head of Xuanshan Academy. If this Li Su is really that Li Su, not someone from sacred land, they don't want one more competitor. Very good. After the spirit transformation peak completely calmed down the blood in his body, his voice also became extremely cold. Although this guy was beaten and vomited blood by Li Su, he didn't think he would lose. Just now, he underestimated the enemy, and had a head-to-head confrontation with Li Su. This is equivalent to 2 martial forest masters fighting internal energy directly against each other. The majesty of Li Su's true essence really shocked him a little. But the battle between immortal cultivators is so simple. Spells, magic treasures, secret techniques, or some special treasures, hole cards, talismans, etc., can all affect the outcome of a battle. In order to kill the weeds and eradicate the roots, that woman prevented the genius of the fairy spiritual roots from growing up, but she gave him a lot of treasures. The conditions that the other party promised him also made him tempted. He has been stuck at the peak of transformation god for too many years. Even if he still has a lifespan of more than 1,000 years, the hope of breakthrough is still very small. But once he spends hundreds of years to find and kill the master, what the woman promised him is enough to greatly increase his confidence in breaking through the void. Therefore, this trip, he is bound to win. Die. As soon as this peak transformation god calmed down the injuries in his body, he summoned his true energy again. In the sky, The densely packed sharp blades turned into streamers all over the sky, like a meteor shower, killing Li Su. At the same time, a special talisman is activated by him. Roar. I saw a giant tiger with black fur all over its body, which looked extremely ferocious, leapt out and rushed towards Li Su. This is the white tiger spirit. He actually has a treasure from the wild. Seeing the giant tiger appear, Yinluo sect leader recognized it. He also looked more seriously, wanting to know how Li Su would face this white tiger ominous spirit. On the opposite side of the god transformation peak, with the movement of Li Su's hands, the light from the Qingyun mirror expanded rapidly, forming a circular light curtain in front of Li Su. Then I saw that the sharp knives that were like meteor showers struck up one after another. But all of them were blocked by Qingyun mirror. Attack and defense like this, when encountering two equally well-matched cultivators, can easily turn into a war of attrition, and it won't be possible to tell the winner after several months of fighting. Roar. The white tiger ominous spirit rushed over, with a pair of incomparably sharp claws, swung suddenly. Boom. Qingyun mirror's defensive light curtain is just a tremor, and the consumption caused by this strike is more than 10 times that of those sharp blade attacks. A cultivator whose true essence is not strong enough, under such an attack, even if it has a good defense magic treasures, it will not last long at all. Li Su's expression remained unchanged, and with a flick of his finger, the flying immortal sword flew out instantly. The white tiger's ominous spirit was extremely sensitive, and it dodged many, but not all of them. It was pierced in an instant. Roar. But after being pierced, the guy still roared and attacked again. Its body, entity. Strictly speaking, it can be fictitious or real. Even if the flying immortal sword pierces through it, the damage it will bring is extremely limited. Today, no one can save you. The peak of Washan snorted, took out a black jar, dripped blood on it, and opened it instantly. Inside, a worm with golden wings flew out suddenly and rushed towards Li Su again. Li Su, be careful. This is the gold-winged king worm. It is best at breaking through magic treasure's defense. It won't last long. Use that talisman. When the ant in charge saw the golden worm, she was horrified and said, Gold-winged king bug. With a move of Li Su's finger, many flying fairy swords rushed towards the gold-winged king worm. This gold-winged king worm is also extraordinarily flexible, and because it is too small, it avoids more evil spirits than the white tiger. Ding. There was also a flying fairy sword hitting it, but the body of the gold-winged king worm was not so hard, and the flying fairy sword couldn't pierce it. The gold-winged king worm had already flown over, and it mouthed at the defensive light curtain of Qingyun mirror. Then he saw that the defensive light curtain of the Qingyun mirror was almost torn apart under its nibbling. There are indeed many methods for this peak of transformation. The two methods used in succession are extremely powerful. Roar. The white tiger's ominous spirit struck again, and the defensive light curtain of Qingyun mirror trembled further. At the same time, those sharp blades were still attacking frantically. Qingyun mirror's defensive light curtain seemed to be unable to hold on any longer. Defense. Once the defense of magic treasures is broken, it can also be re-injected with real energy to drive, but it takes time to drive again. In the battle between the gods, how could others give you that time and opportunity? Low-level cultivators may also be unable to grasp fighter opportunities. It is absolutely impossible for Washan cultivators to have such a situation. With the trembling of the defensive light curtain, finally, the gold-winged king worm slammed through and rushed towards Li Su. Li Su's expression remained unchanged, but with a movement of his finger, several talismans flew out. Boom. A fire talisman exploded instantly, and the tumbling flames engulfed the gold-winged kingworm. But when the flames dissipated, the gold-winged kingworm was not injured at all.
Another ice talisman exploded, and the surrounding area of the gold-winged kingworm instantly turned into ice, but with the rapid vibration of the gold-winged kingworm's wings, the ice was covered with cracks and shattered.
After all, the ice talisman dragged on for a long time, and another defensive talisman was activated, blocking the gold-winged kingworm. But when Li Su was dealing with the gold-winged kingworm, the white tiger ominous spirit had already broken the defensive light curtain of the Qingyun realm, and rushed towards Li Su again. Die. Transforming God Peak showed a sneer, and he had already rushed closer. As his distance narrowed, the power of those sharp blades further increased. Cut off Li Su's retreat from all directions. He used 2 powerful hole cards with full firepower, pushing Jisoo to a desperate situation. The rest is to force out Lee Su's hole cards bit by bit, and finally kill Lee Soo in one fell swoop. Lee Soo quickly used that talisman. The ant in charge was a little anxious. You two don't need to worry. I guess this person must have a backup. Thousands of miles away, the voice of the head of Xuanshan Academy sounded. Killing geniuses is Jin's favorite. I didn't expect to be able to kill 2 geniuses today. So what about the fairy spiritual roots? They have to die in Jin's hands. The cultivator at the peak of transformation god made a cold voice. Opposite. Lee Soo glanced at him lightly. At this glance, the cultivator at the peak of transformation god subconsciously felt something was wrong. Lee Soo seemed to be too calm. Moreover, Lee Soo played at such a disadvantage that he didn't escape. Are you so infatuated with Dongfang Shui? Posting. The peak of Washan snorted, took out a bead with both hands, and flicked it. He wants to completely defeat Lee Soo. It's just that he hasn't had time to use the bead, and the accident happened in vain. With the movement of Lee Su's hands, countless golden lights flew out, and when these golden threads appeared, they tightened suddenly. The gold-winged king worm sensed the danger, and as soon as its wings fluttered, it wanted to avoid it. But it was too late. These golden threads struck in an instant, wrapping it in it all at once, wrapping it layer after layer. This time, the gold-winged king worm had no chance to escape at all. At the same time, an infinite stream of light rushed out. The power of the Feishen sword suddenly increased, and the power of a top-grade treasure was released. Peak Wazan's face changed. His sharp blade was no match for Feishenjin. Not only that, this Feishenjin actually cut off his escape route. Between the surrounding heaven and earth, the vitality is tumbling, and a large formation is rising rapidly. Not good, use it. The peak transformation god instantly understood. He fell for it. Lee Soo let him do his best, trying to lure him into the battle. Otherwise, as the peak of god transformation, he has many means, and if he wants to escape, it will be very difficult for Lee Soo to stop him. Especially when Lee Soo still has to protect the head of the sect, it is impossible to chase too far. Without any hesitation, this peak transformation god raised all his true energy and rushed towards a square path. Roar. The white tiger spirit is still attacking Lee Soo, and peak transformation god has no time to deal with it. Using it to restrain Lee Soo will also give him a better chance of escaping. Break it for me. This peak transformation god was also a fight, using the beads in his hand and several treasures at the same time. A defensive talisman is also activated instantly. The defense that the magic talisman erupts in a short period of time is often more powerful than the continuous output of defense magic treasures. This guy gave up his defense and wanted to rush out. Although, he didn't know what this big formation was, but once he was trapped, he would be too passive. The speed of the peak of the transformation god is too fast. He only needs 1 or 2 breaths, and he can get out of the range of the big formation. Boom. The sound of all kinds of treasures and spells was deafening, and then, the peak of the god transformation rushed out like this. Oh, mere formation. The peak of Washan sneered. No matter how strong the formation is, it still has great flaws. Arrays are dead, but people are alive. As long as you are alert enough, you will not be trapped by the formation. But immediately, he noticed something, and his expression changed. The surrounding area has become a vast expanse. Phantom array. His complexion changed. He was probably too anxious just now. He was hit by the phantom array and rushed in the wrong direction, causing him to have a chance to get out of trouble, but instead he plunged in with 10 heads. Lee Su's figure reappeared. He has no escape. This is a trap. This time, there is no way for the peak transformation god to escape. The genius of Sacred Land is indeed terrifying. Thousands of miles away, seeing the peak of transforming god disappear into the formation, the head of Xuanshan Academy fanned his folding fan and said, I'm afraid he is that Lee Soo, Master Daiyin Peak. There is a judgment. Although at the beginning, she felt that this Lee Soo was not that Lee Soo, but after thinking about it later, she felt that the chance of a Sacred Land genius also named Lee Soo appearing here was a little too low. Moreover, in the eyes of Peak Master Daiyin, this peak god transformation is far from being a genius. The other party immediately attacked a Sacred Land genius transformation god. This guy is so brave that he is not afraid of Sacred Land. Revenge? According to the rumors in Zhongzhou, Li Su is not only powerful, but also proficient in formation, pill refining, and weapons. The magic treasures displayed by Li Su in the battle just now are not at a low level. These also provided the basis for Peak Master Dai Yun's guess. Although, she still felt that if this Li Su was the rumored Li Su, it would be a bit too human. But if it is true, then the value of this Li Su is boundless. Not to mention, and the genius of a fairy's spiritual roots. Dongfang Shui, is that the Dongfang family? In the Immortal Alliance, there seems to be a rumor that a fairy spiritual roots appeared in the Dongfang family hundreds of years ago, but that fairy spiritual roots disappeared hundreds of years ago. It doesn't seem like the style of these top families. Peak Lord Daiyun's eyes fell on the head of the sect, and many speculations arose. Boom. Ah. At this time, within the trapped formation, the peak of transformation god was about to collapse. This guy's strength is indeed strong, with many Duan Yi hands. If it's outside, Li Su wants to protect the head, and it really can't stop him from escaping. But here, the guy is jumping around. Seeing that there was no hope of breaking the formation in a short period of time, this peak transformation god tried his best, but he couldn't do anything to Li Su. This made him extremely aggrieved. Li Su is only a mere 5th level of god transformation, but he beat him to the 5th level without any return. He is not reconciled. The same cultivator, why can these geniuses have such powerful spiritual roots, and have such a strong combat power at the same level? God is not fair. Puff. But now, his complaints are useless. After spitting out another mouthful of blood, Li Su's flying immortal sword broke through his last defense and knocked him into the cave. Then, Li Su struck with a palm, knocking his primordial spirit to the point of collapse. The golden thread has already struck up. This peak transformation god, just like that, was captured by Li Shengchao. After capturing the peak of transforming god, Li Su dispelled the trap and appeared outside with a move of his hand. Peak transformation god was captured by him. One of the thousands of miles above the god of transformation stared at him. Peak Lord Daiyun looked in several other directions. There were also strong men coming there, and they were all strong men who turned into gods. The movement of building the immortal foundation spread very far, but it was limited after all, and it was not like when the immortal spiritual roots were just born. They would be monitored by sacred land using the holy artifact. If it is too far away, the induction will be relatively weak, and if you do not have a certain strength, you will not be able to sense the direction at all. These people should all be in the area where the northern border is located. Their speed was relatively slow, and as soon as they arrived, they saw a peak transformation god being captured alive by Li Su, and they didn't dare to take another step forward. At the same time, on Mangkang Mountain, the sect leader defeated the last thunderbolt, and all the power in her body was absorbed. Her primordial spirit had already turned into a purple-gold primordial spirit. Shanji, it's done. She made it. Seeing the success of the sect master, the eyes of the 3 Washan above looked one after another. Even if they are above Washan, there is some envy in their eyes. This is Shanji. Once the immortal base is built, the road to cultivation will be smoother, and the possibility of becoming an immortal will also be greatly increased. Although the ultimate goal of a cultivator is to become a fairy. But in fact, this ultimate goal is an extravagant wish for most immortal cultivators. Even for those in the void refining stage who theoretically have an infinite lifespan, immortals are an existence that is out of reach. Above these 3 transformation gods, although they are powerful and their aptitudes are not bad, they are not immortal spiritual roots. It is also impossible for them to build an immortal foundation. It is impossible not to be envious. Xiaoshui. The ant in charge saw that Li Su had already solved the cultivator who was at the peak of transformation, so she flew over and was very happy for the head. The head of the sect withdrew all the power, and looked at the peak of the transformation god. Don't mention how miserable this guy is now. Xiaoshui, that woman actually dispatched a Washan peak to look for you all over the world. Fortunately, Li Su is there, otherwise this time it will be dangerous. The ant in charge said happily. She looked at Li Su with extremely satisfied eyes. Even she has never seen such a monstrous genius like Li Su. He only became a god of transformation decades ago, but now he beat a peak god of transformation to the ground and captured him alive. The distance between the God of Transformation and the peak of the God of Transformation is not short. Like Bihai, it will be like that after a lifetime. Unless Bihai can find a heaven-defying opportunity in the next 1,000 years, otherwise, he will stop at the middle stage of the God transformation in this life, and will not reach the peak at all. For a cultivator with insufficient aptitude and no heaven-defying luck, that distance is indeed a distance that cannot be crossed in a lifetime. In addition, it is much more difficult to capture the peak of Washan alive than to defeat a peak of Washan. At least several times larger. There are too many life-saving cards at the peak of Washan. It is easy to defeat, but it is difficult to prevent the opponent from escaping. As long as this peak transformation god is careful enough, it will not be easy for the early stages of Lianshu to capture the other party alive. But Li Su did it. Such Li Su, even the ant who is the head of the sect, has to admit that he is powerful and evil. From the bottom of my heart, I also fully approve of Li Su. Thank you, Li Su. The master's gaze towards Li Su was full of splendor. Master, you don't have to be polite. There are quite a few people around, so let me deal with it first. After Li Su finished speaking, he looked around. The head and her aunt looked around, but they didn't see any figure. Even if the sect leader built the immortal foundation, he still couldn't notice the 3 transformation gods. As for the other transformation gods, they were a little frightened by Li Su and stayed farther away. These coming gods also did not notice the 3 gods. If you have nothing to do, please go back. If you stay here all the time, it will inevitably cause Li some misunderstandings. Li Su spoke. Ha 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 ha, it's really a boy born from a hero. Little friend Li Su, a certain Lu is from the western region, and Tian is the head of the 2nd rank Xianmen Xuanshan Academy. It's really a blessing in life to meet you today. At this time, loud laughter sounded. A person appeared. This man was dressed in white and looked about 40 years old. He looked like a refined scholar. He fanned and quickly approached Li Su. This guy has a heart to make friends with Li Su. He has never heard of Li Su's name. In his heart, Li Su is still a sacred land genius, and the leader is another younger genius. Although Li Su is the god of transformation, he is already a void alchemist, but he did not put on any airs, keeping his posture quite low. Of course, I won't deliberately try to please. Making friends and please are 2 yards. Then there is the sacred land genius. As the head of the 2nd rank fairy sect, he is also a void refiner himself, so there is no need to please him. A genius can only be a genius before he grows up. The distance from transforming gods to refining emptiness is not short. Even if it is a fairy spiritual roots, it still takes a lot of time. Daiyan Peak Master and Tinluo sect leader saw that the head of Xuanshan Academy took the lead, and they also showed up one after another. We were attracted by the news of Zhu Shanji, and there is no malice. Both of you are geniuses who are rare in 10,000 years. If there is any need, I, Yuanzong, will fully cooperate with you. After Peak Master Daiyan appeared, although he was already extremely curious about Li Su in his heart, he still behaved calmly. Not only she is like this, but Lord Yin Luo is also like this. The reason for this is simple. She is still not sure about the specific identities of Li Su and the head. Therefore, make a good show first, and then make the next plan after confirming the identity of Li Su and the leader. At the same time, she was also unwilling to associate Xuanshan Academy with an extra competitor for no reason. Tinluo sect leader, this guy is very scheming, not to mention. Haha, a happy event is coming today, little friend Li Su. My Tinluo sect is located in the east, and there are many beautiful female cultivators above the 4th rank spiritual roots in the sect. If you are free, my little friend, welcome to my Wei Luo sect at any time. It's just that, although Tinluo sect leader is not particularly sure of Li Su's identity, there are still private goods in his words. Today, the little friend seems to have something to do, so I won't chatter too much. After the little friend is done, Lu will come to visit again. This is the Xuanshan order of our Xuanshan Academy. If you need any help, place, inspire as much as possible. A. The head of Xuanshan Academy handed out a small token. Li Su didn't accept it. He naturally saw that these 3 were all above Washan. It is normal for the 3 of them to want to befriend or recruit after seeing him and the evildoer in charge. However, it is impossible for Li Su to join any fairy gate. As for the leader, Li Su respected her wishes, but Li Su guessed that she might not be willing to join the fairy gate here. With her aptitude, it would be a waste to join the first-rank ferry gate. Sacred land is the best destination. But the leader didn't intend to leave, and there is no sacred land in this area. Little friend, don't worry. Lu Mo felt like old friends with him at first sight, and sent this order just to make a good relationship with him. The head of Xuanshan Academy said again. That's right, little friend Li Su, the world is over 10. Although my Kanglan realm is not the most prosperous, it's not too bad. It seems that I'm facing some enemies. Although I'm very powerful, I have to take precautions. 1. I, Luo, can guarantee that as long as my little friend is in the east, Luo will not sit back and watch the other party act wild. The Tin Luo sect leader also spoke, and sent out a Tin Luo token. Not only that, Tian Luo sect leader was also very enthusiastic, and came to Li Su's side, and while talking, he stuffed Tian Luo Ling into Li Su's hand. Under his enthusiastic persuasion, finally, Li Su accepted his Tin Luo token and Xuanshan token from the head of Xuanshan Academy. Seeing the heads of these two second-rank immortal sects, one is more active than the other, Peak Master Daiyan can't sit still anymore. These second-rank fairy gates are really wild. Those who give away things as soon as they come up insist on stuffing them into people's hands. Tin Luo sect leader hasn't confirmed Li Su's identity yet. However, the Daiyan Peak Master is a woman after all, and she is usually extremely cold, so naturally she can't be like Tin Luo sect leader. She also has not yet identified Li Su. Li Su, our Gaiyuan sect is the biggest immortal sect in this area, and the Washan Bihai in the northern region is a disciple of the Gaiyuan sect. When you come to the northern region, you can be regarded as destined to our Gaiyuan sect. This is my butterfly cloud make. Peak Master Daiyan also sent out a token. Li Su had already accepted too, so she also accepted hers. I didn't expect to see the genius of the fairy spiritual roots here. No matter where the Oriental girl comes from, it is also a fate to be able to meet it. It is a small gift. Let's regard it as a congratulatory gift to Your Excellency for the completion of the Fairy Foundation. Then, Peak Master Daiyan sent another congratulatory gift to the sect leader. Her actions made Tin Luo sect leader and the head of Xuanshan Academy follow up one after another, and they all sent congratulatory gifts. Thank you 3 seniors, Shangguang Shui has received the blessings from the 3 seniors, so the gift will be waived. Facing the 3 refiners, the sect leader behaved gracefully, neither overbearing nor humble. Master Daiyan couldn't help but feel a little strange calling on the head of the sect, because the former peak transformation god called her Dongfang Shui. How can such a big event be avoided? Li Su, you can accept it on behalf of the Oriental girl. Tin Luo sect leader naturally wouldn't force it into the leader's hand, so he forced it into Li Su's hand again. Li Su took a look at the head of the sect and accepted the 3 congratulatory gifts. Miss Shangguan, you have just built an immortal base, and you still need to consolidate it, so I won't bother you anymore. Seeing that Li Su accepted the congratulatory gift, the 3 Washan took their leave one after another. After they left, Li Su looked around. The other avatars did not show up, but left quietly. It is also possible to retreat further. Li Su didn't care. Master, the area around Mangkang Mountain has become the area where spiritual qi is the most concentrated. You can move Fei Shenzong to this area, and build a paradise here, which will not be worse than before. After everyone left, Li Su said to the master. That's right, he's ready for the door. Moved to Mangkang Mountain. In the current Fei Shenzong, Li Su's words are also very useful. A large number of Li Su's descendants are also raised in Fei Shenzong. The number is more than 200. The Fei Shenzong is currently cultivating mainly descendants of Li Su's spiritual roots. The spiritual roots are good, and Li was sent to the fairy gates in the northern border. If this continues, Fei Shenzong will become a fairy sect for cultivating offspring for Li Su. Moreover, the head of the sect has long been regarded by Li Su as his own woman, so he moved Fei Shenzong to Mangkang Mountain. The main peak of Mangkang Mountain was also planned to be left by Ji Su to the Li family. Over the years, Li Su has also constructed many large formations in Mangkang Mountain, and has initially created 2 caves and blessed places. Now, part of the Li family can be moved over first. In this way, it is safer, because Ji can use this natural feng shui formation to fight against the enemy. Once one day, Li Su completely removes the magnetic barrier and takes away the celestial artifact fragments, Mangkang Mountain will become the most dense celestial mountain in the Northern Territory spiritual chi. When that day came, Li Su's strength would naturally be so strong that he would no longer need to rely on this natural feng shui formation to fight against the enemy. It is good. The master agreed. She had just built the immortal foundation, and Li Su had captured another peak of transformation god, and there were still many things to deal with. So, Li Su didn't say much else. The Li family began to move. The Li mansion around Los Angeles naturally still exists. Li Su has lived here for hundreds of years and has feelings for this place, so naturally he will not let it be abandoned. This is also the place of the tribe. A large number of descendants of Li Su, especially mortals, naturally lived here. But Li Su's concubines have all moved to the Paradise of Paradise on a peak in Mangkang Mountain. A channel was also opened by Li Su here. The spiritual chi is rich, and at the same time it is extremely safe. This cave is also divided into many areas. Below the mountain, there are a lot of buildings. This is the place where guests and the Li family stay when they come in. Above is the private area for Li Su and his women, and no one else can enter. Not only the Li family is moving, but Fei Shenzong is also moving. The head continued to consolidate in Mangkang Mountain. The ant who is in charge is interrogating the peak transformation god. In addition, Li Su and Molin's wedding is still under preparation, and there is still 1.5 months before the wedding. Li Su is not planning to postpone the wedding. Everything is going on in an orderly manner, and the other side. Peak Lord Dian has been in the northern border, inquiring about news for more than 10 days. It's really him. More than 10 days passed, and the news that Peak Lord Dian was probed was unbelievable. She didn't expect that. The news spread from the north to Zhangzhou is all true. Li Su really existed, and it really only took more than 200 years to become Washan. Then, decades passed, Li Su beat a Peak Washan powerless and captured him alive. Not only that, Li Su actually pacified the Beihai Sea clan by himself. Although the current Beihai Sea clan can't compare with tens of thousands of years ago. But if he can do this, Li Su can also be called a monster. The collection of these news made even Peak Master Dian unnecessarily irritated. This is too exciting. As a result, the more Peak Master Dian inquired, the more he wondered if he had auditory hallucinations. A master who can master the state of his body 100% suspects that he has auditory hallucinations. Sky. In the northern border, when did such a monstrous genius appear? What are these spiritual roots? Immortal spiritual roots, there may not be such a monster. If he can be allowed to join Gai Yuanzong, in time, Gai Yuanzong might be able to take advantage of him and become the new sacred land. Peak Master Dian thought suddenly, sacred land. The first-rank Xianmen wanted to become sacred land, but it was difficult. The background of sacred land is something that the first-rank Xianmen never had. The area where Gai Yuanzong is located is only a first-rank ferry gate, and there is no sacred land at all. It is extremely difficult for Gui Yuanzong to become a sacred land. However, Peak Lord Dian saw hope in Li Su. I'm afraid Tinluo sect leader also knows, we can't let him take the lead, we must win over Li Su. Peak Lord Dian has made a decision. 1 month later, there will be his wedding with the Washan of the High Clan. We can use this wedding to express our sincerity in returning to Yuanzong. Dai Yunfang thought. Thinking of this, she took out a communication stone and inspired it. This is to send a message to Xiao Yu in Gui Yuanzong to ask Xiao Yu to prepare a congratulatory gift and prepare a grand team to attend Li Su's wedding. 1 month is just enough. As for that Dongfang Shui, leave it alone for now. The Dongfang family is like half a sacred land. Let's talk about it after getting in touch with Li Su first. Peak Master Dian had already guessed the identity of the sect leader. After all, the Peak of Washan called out the head's name, combined with some news she had inquired in the northern border, as well as the news she had heard before. It's not hard to guess. How could a fairy spiritual roots stay in the north for so many years for no reason? Also changed own name and built a fairy gate? Peak Master Dian was a little cautious about this, because she knew that the family behind the Dangmen was difficult to deal with. The first-rank Xianmen is also very powerful, although it is not afraid, but after all, it must be more cautious. Ha ha ha. I didn't expect him to be Li Su. Such a genius came out of the northern border. This time we must take him at any cost. On the other side, Tinluo sect leader laughed loudly there. The female nun of the third-rank spiritual roots should be able to make him fall in love, Ming? He also sent out a message stone to send out all the outstanding female nuns from the spiritual roots in Tinluozong, hoping to impress Jisoo. This Li Su is actually from the north. Those two guys kept it from me from the beginning to the end. What Tinluo sect leader and Daiyan Peak master didn't expect was that despite all precautions, the head of Xuanshan Academy still inquired about Li Su in the northern border. The relocation of Fei Shenzong and the Li family went smoothly. In less than a month, Fei Shenzong completely moved to Mangkang Mountain. As for the Li family, it was even faster, and the relocation had already been completed. The demonic beasts in Mangkang Mountain have been cleaned up. Also in some special areas, some demonic beasts are deliberately reserved. These demonic beasts can be used for the disciples of Fei Shenzong to practice. On the day the relocation was completed, Li Su met the head of Fei Shenzong. After building the immortal foundation this time, it doesn't take too long to consolidate as a sect. Master, how is it? Fortunately, there is no problem. Oh, Master, let me see your primordial spirit. Li Su said. He was going to take a look at what the primordial spirit who was in charge of building the immortal foundation looked like. If this request was replaced by someone else, it would be impossible for the door to agree. But Li Su wanted to take a look, so the master made Yuanshan expanding aperture to float above On's body. Li Su saw that the master's primordial spirit was still golden, but there was purple in the gold, and its strength was nearly 90% stronger than before she built the immortal foundation. That is to say, it almost doubled. There is still a big gap between this and Li Su's primordial spirit. Li Su's Zijin primordial spirit looks much cooler than the master's primordial spirit. Looking at it this way, even if the immortal spiritual roots build an immortal foundation, at the same level, it is still far inferior to Li Su's Zijin primordial spirit. It's okay, Shun Mao. Li Su said. Li Su, even if your primordial spirit didn't build an immortal foundation, with your excellence, your growth rate will not be slower than mine. The master saw that Li Su was curious to see her soul twice in succession. Thinking that Li Su had never seen the purple gold primordial spirit who built the immortal base, he comforted him. Li Su's growth rate is indeed astonishingly fast, much faster than her, and the head of the team doesn't even know what kind of spiritual roots Li Su is, and whether she has any special constitution. Master, what happened to that person? Did you ask Li? Li Su asked again. What he asked was about the peak god transformation. Seeing Li Su mentioning it, the headmaster was silent for a few seconds, and said, Li Su, I'm going to hand over Fei Shenzong to you. Hand over the Fei Shenzong to him. The head's words made Li Su look at her involuntarily. Master, are you going to leave here? Li Su guessed her plan in an instant. The head said, Yes, Li Su. The reason why I came to Wangshenzhou is because something happened in my family. The headmaster slowly told about her past events. This is the first time the headmaster has told Li Su about her past. Although Li Su has almost restored it based on many things, it is still not as clear as the leader himself said. Li Su listened silently. Although the person she sent was captured alive by you, it is very likely that the news that I am here at cannot be hidden. With her current power in the family, the next time she sends, it is likely to be Lianshu. The master looked at Li Su and said. After listening for a long time, Li Su naturally understood the meaning of the head. The family where the head belongs is indeed powerful, comparable to half of sacred land. In terms of power, it will not be weaker than a powerful first-rank fairy sect like Gui Yuanzong. That family used to be fine, but ever since the ancestor of the family brought back an enchanting woman from somewhere, the whole family has become chaotic. Born as the head of the sect, after possessing the immortal spiritual roots, she was even targeted by the other party, and she was almost handed over to her useless son. Later, after the aunt who was in charge found out, she brought people to rescue the head. Originally, this incident ended when the woman and her son were imprisoned for 100 years, and Men Xinhan ran away from home. Although the result of the processing is not particularly fair to the head, it is still a result. But, after the woman came out, she gave birth to a first heavenly Tao body, and the spiritual roots was surprisingly good. The status of this woman in the family will increase in a straight line. Now, That woman seems to have controlled most of the family, and also used this to network a large number of strong people. Although, the family where the head is located is far away from here. This peak of becoming a god was also captured by Li Su. When catching it, Li Su didn't give the peak of Washan any chance to send a message. But before this guy arrives, it's hard to guarantee that he didn't notify the woman by any means. In addition, the place where the head family is located is more prosperous than this area, and the spiritual chi is more intense. Even sacred land has it, and there must be more strong people. This time the woman sent out the peak of Washan, and next time, she might send out Lianshu. This is very possible. The number of void refining experts is extremely small, and there is none in the current northern border. But in the area where the northern border is located, the sum of the four borders, the southeast, the west, the middle, and the surrounding oceans should have reached double digits. The situation in the northern border is special. Tens of thousands of years ago, there was more than one alchemist here. But in the area where the head family is located, there should be more Lianshu. As long as the other party is willing to pay the price, it may not be a big problem to invite a refiner. The leader should be worried about causing trouble for Li Su, so he wanted to leave here. This, she did not say. Another important factor is that in the northern border, after becoming a god, you will face the problem of shortage of cultivation resources. The current northern border cannot support too many nascent souls. As for turning into a god, it is even more difficult. Otherwise, why did Bihai go outside to look for opportunities? Master, where do you want to go? After figuring out what the headmaster thought, Li Su didn't rush to say anything else, but asked instead. The master shook his head. I don't know. In her eyes, there was a trace of confusion. She really didn't know where to go. Although the door of Zijin's sacred land is always open for her, Shen Zijin's sacred land is too deeply involved with her family. In Zijin's sacred land, there is also a power who admires her very much and wants to accept her as a disciple, and even let her be the sacred land holy maiden. According to her aunt, after that incident, the power basically expelled her family from sacred land. But after the woman gave birth to the first heavenly Tao body, the situation changed again. The first heavenly Tao body born by that woman was taken by another power in sacred land, and became the son of sacred land. That ancestor heavenly Tao body was fully cultivated by sacred land, and it only took less than 200 years to achieve Washan. First heavenly Tao body, combined with first-rank spiritual roots, the effect will not be much worse than fairy spiritual roots. So, don't say that she didn't plan to go back to Zijin's sacred land from the beginning. Even if she wants to go back now, the power that appreciates her still appreciates her, and in Zijin's sacred land, I'm afraid there will be no peace. There is more than one sacred land in the world, and the master can also go to other sacred lands. But the head doesn't want to go to other sacred land either. As for Zhongzhou's first-rank Xianmin Gaiyuanzong, it was also the choice in the head's mind. In fact, she didn't really want to leave here. But staying here may cause disaster here. Li Su's strength is indeed very strong. Even the peak transformation god is no match for him. However, what if there is a refinement? The gap between Washan and Lianshu is too big. Wazan's use of the power of heaven and earth is still very rudimentary, and when it comes to Lianshu, every gesture is accompanied by the power of heaven and earth. Under the blessing of the power of heaven and earth, with the same attack, Lianshu's attack power is much greater. What's more, this time the peak of Washan peak has fallen, so if the woman sends out Lianshu, it will only send out more methods and stronger Lianshu. Master, if you still don't know where to go, then don't go for now. Seeing the confusion in the headmaster's eyes, Li Su grabbed her little hand and said softly. This action. Let the leader's body stagnate. These years. When Li Su got along with her, he became more and more bold. In the past, it was not once or twice that he grabbed her little hand like this. But in the past Li Su was for stuffing things. It was the first time that he directly grabbed her little hand like this. In addition, after Li Su surpassed her in strength, Li Su actually restrained a lot. Master, don't worry about the resources you use for cultivation. This disciple can guarantee you the resources to reach the middle stage of the god transformation. For the rest, wait until the middle stage of the god transformation. Li Su's gentle and powerful voice sounded again. Immortal spiritual roots practice fast, have a solid foundation, and are stronger at the same level, but at the same time, cultivation requires more resources. The main problem is that we should not only pursue speed, but also need to lay a better foundation and make each step stronger. Otherwise, the resources needed by a genius will be far less than that of an ordinary immortal cultivator. In the current Northern Territory, it is indeed difficult to meet the resources needed by the head to quickly cultivate. There is a great demand for spirit stones in the practice of transforming gods, not to mention all kinds of heaven and earth spiritual objects and medicine pills that are used to enhance the primordial spirit. In other words, Li Su has a system, so he doesn't have to worry about training resources at all. He just needs to use more descendants to get the rewards of the system. Now that there is Beihai, Li Su can guarantee the cultivation resources from the leader to the middle stage of Washan. The genius treasures needed by the Sea Clan happen to be different from the cultivators on land. Of course, at the late stage of Washan, there will be some difficulties. However, in the area called Kangalan Realm, by the three masters of refining emptiness, the other realms should be easily found. With Li Su's current strength, he can also set foot in other realms. Master, as for the person sent by that woman, leave it to the disciple. Rest assured, the master, no matter how many people she sends, the disciple will let her come and go. Li Su's flat voice was full of confidence. This is no big talk. Nor is it arrogance. Li Su is absolutely sure, and at the same time, he is also sure that even if the woman sends someone again, at most she will be able to send Lian Shuchu middle stage. Impossible to be above refinement. Even the late stage in refining is difficult. Even if the area where the head family is located is more prosperous, Lianshu cannot be Chinese cabbage. Don't talk about refining the void, it is also impossible for Washan to be a Chinese cabbage. Of course, the density must be higher. Because sacred land has concentrated a large number of geniuses from the spiritual roots, even the third-rank spiritual roots can achieve god transformation within a few 100,000 years. It is also unlikely that the woman will send a strong member of the family. This matter will be shameful after all. Lianshu in the family may not sell her account now. To be able to refine Shu, the belief must be very firm. People in the head family don't like this woman, so it is unlikely that they will work hard for her. So we can only invite people from outside. This woman is just relying on power. It is impossible to invite someone who is too strong, and even in a short period of time, she may not be able to find someone. Li Su's words made the headmaster look at him involuntarily. The head's personality has always been as calm as water. Even if there is a big thing, she can quickly calm her mind. But this time, there was something moving in her eyes. Master, leave it to the disciples, you only need to concentrate on cultivation. Li Su is holding the little hand of the master. No. Li Su. The leader suddenly didn't know what to say. She owes Li Su a little too much. She is not ignorant of Li Su's thoughts. After Li Su's own foundation establishment, when he saw her, didn't he write his thoughts on his face? Not only that. That is, when Li Su met her for the first time, an ordinary person dared to hug her and bite her. Every time he recalled the situation at that time, the heartbeat of the sect leader couldn't help but speed up a little. Only. The news she got from Washan Peak made the sect leader even more worried. She was unwilling to even join Yuan Jisoo. Master, these things are for you. They contain everything you need to reach the fourth level of God transformation. After you reach the fourth level of God transformation, I will prepare other things for you. At this time, Li Su was already stuffing something into her hand. These things were naturally prepared by Li Su long ago. Give me your flying immortal sword. I will refine them into middle-grade treasures. I won't need them for the time being. Li Su said again. So, the master watched in a daze as Li Su stuffed one thing after another into On's hand, and took away her flying immortal sword and defensive magic treasures, preparing to refine it again. Okay. Master, cultivation is the most important thing. You can go to the closed-door training to practice, and leave everything else to me. After I finish taking this concubine, I will send you the Fei Shen sword back. Li Su blinked and said. What he said made the sect leader break his guard a bit. In the originally good atmosphere, Li Su suddenly said, take a concubine. Over the past few hundred years, the sect leader has long been used to Li Su taking concubines constantly, and she has nothing to do with Li Su. Especially after Li Su surpassed her in strength. She can only let Li Su go. After speaking, Li Su was ready to leave. There are still a few days before marrying Hei Lin, and he has to go and be arranged. This time, the wedding will be held in Mangkang Mountain. Li Su. Li Su just turned around when the door was knocked. Li Su turned his head and saw the headmaster dressed in white standing there, looking a little lonely, and inexplicably made Li Su feel a little fragile. The former head of the sect has always been a towering tree that sheltered him. But now, drunk, he came to protect her. Then, the master stepped forward gently, and gently embraced Li Su under Li Su's somewhat surprised eyes. The scent on the head's body was overwhelming, and the faint fragrance made Li Su take a deep breath. His hand, which had nowhere to rest, finally placed on the soft waist of the door. The head's body froze slightly. She was originally moved and wanted to hug Li Su, but Li Su actually did it again. So, this hug lasted for several minutes, but Li Su still didn't intend to let go. Until Li Su noticed that someone was coming. Only then did he let go of his hand, and when he looked back, it was the aunt in charge. The head's pretty face was still slightly red. Aunt, Senior. Li Su also greeted the head aunt. Xiao Su, you should follow Xiao Shui and call me aunt. The head aunt walked up enthusiastically, wondering if she had seen the scene of Li Su embracing the head. Xiao Su. Xiao Shui depends entirely on your help, but she is a fairy spiritual roots. Before the integrated union, she cannot give birth to offspring, otherwise her spiritual roots will be damaged. After she reaches the integrated union period, the aunt will decide to take Xiao Shui to the next stage. Marry you. The head aunt said. Looking at it this way, she probably saw it. Ah. Thank you, auntie. Li Su was surprised at first, then overjoyed. On the side, the pretty face of the sect leader turned red in an instant. Her small mouth was also slightly open. Obviously, she did not expect that her aunt would arrange her marriage as soon as she came. Her figure flashed and disappeared. Xiao Shui's face has always been very thin. She agreed to this matter without objecting, so it's settled. The head aunt saw that the head disappeared, but she didn't care, and she didn't care about Li Dao. Li Su said cheerfully, "Thank you, auntie. Sometimes, marriage is also a good thing." Although he always wanted the head to give birth to a baby for him, the head has a special status in his mind. After his strength became stronger, he restrained himself a lot of behaviors, also because he didn't want to destroy that feeling. It is also impossible for Li Su to tell the head directly, let her give birth to her own baby. Moreover, the enemies of the head of the sect have not yet been resolved. As the rare immortal spiritual roots, she has successfully built a fairy base. Now the most important thing for the head of the sect is cultivation. Therefore, Li Su has never found a chance. Now that she has the head aunt, it will be easy to handle. Auntie, I made this medicine pill specially for you, and this magic treasures. Li Su cheerfully handed over a lot of things. When a long bell rang. On Mangkang Mountain, Li Su's concubine ceremony started again. This time, it was Washan from the most powerful Zhao clan of the North Sea clan. The whole ceremony was extraordinarily grand. This wedding, in the northern border, is also highly anticipated. In addition, the Li family had just moved to Mangkang Mountain, and the moving ceremony was also held together. Although people in the northern border did not know about the Battle of Mangkang Mountain, this wedding still brought together most of the cultivators in the northern border. The heads of the immortal sect also came. The wedding of the two Washan, the head of the fairy sect in the north, naturally will not come. Even closed-door training is here. Of course, Li Su's master, Shangguan Shui, still hasn't come, and she rarely participates in Li Su's concubine ceremony. Li Su naturally wouldn't blame her. On Mangkang Mountain, among a towering mountain peak, the house was full of guests. This time, most of the people who came here were immortal cultivators. Of course, in the vicinity of Los Angeles, the old residents of the Li Mansion also held a large banquet for the mortals around. There are a lot of people from the Northern Immortal Gate this time. In addition to the sect master, many gold core cultivators also came to participate in the ceremony. This also made Mangkang Mountain extremely lively. Li Sr. is getting more and more powerful. I heard that the concubine he took this time has a high status in the High Clan. Yes, several immortal sect leaders were discussing there. At this moment, in the distance, a team of unusually large flying boats flew over from afar. The flying boats in this team are not small in size, and their shape is quite different from the flying boats in the north. These flying boats are more exquisite and more atmospheric. If it is said that the common airships in the northern region are broken cars worth tens of thousands of dollars, these airships can be called authentic luxury cars. These airships. The arrival of this unusually large airship team attracted everyone's attention. Several fairy sect heads stood up one after another. Soon, dozens of airships flew over. A god transformation expert flew out from a distance and said loudly, "The second-rank fairy gate in the eastern border, Tian Luojing specially came to congratulate Dao Fa." The words of this god transformer made all the cultivators on Mangkang Mountain commotion. Where is the East Territory? Our northern border is to the north, and the eastern border should be to the east. This is actually a second gate. Did all the fairy gates in the east come all this way to congratulate Li Sr.? Many cultivators were discussing one by one, with surprise on their faces. Some cultivators who are not strong don't even know where the East Territory is. But hearing that this huge airship team actually came from a second-rank fairy gate in the east, each of these cultivators immediately had a feeling of so powerful. Li Su's concubine ceremony actually attracted the second-rank fairy gate in the east, who came to congratulate Li Su from a distance of thousands of miles. This is not ordinary powerful. Second-rank Shumenye. Among the northern borders, the strongest is only the third-rank fairy gate. The third-rank immortal gate Bixia sect gives the impression of being extremely powerful. Some low-level cultivators, disciples of the Bixia sect who usually come into contact with outsiders, feel that they are awesome. Now, unexpectedly there is a fairy gate stronger than Bixiajing. Haha, little friend Li Su, Luo came here uninvited, I hope you don't mind. Before and after the disciples of the Tinluo sect, the Tinluo sect leader also appeared. Although Guantian Luo sect leader restrained his aura, many nascent souls in the northern region still noticed the difference one by one. As a refiner, the use of the laws of the heavens in the earth and the vitality of the heavens in the earth has reached a new height. Even if Tinluo sect leader doesn't use the power he relies on, he seems to be integrated with the surrounding heaven and earth. This is also where Lianshu is the most powerful compared to Washan. In addition, there is another powerful feature of Lianshu, which is that Yuanshan can expand aperture for a long time. The speed of Yuanshan is fast, and the distance of thousands of miles can be reached in an instant. This allows the alchemy cultivator to increase the number of battlefields that can be controlled. Generally, the battlefield that nascent soul can effectively control is only within a radius of 100 or 200 miles. Transformation can reach hundreds of miles to thousands of miles. The battlefield effectively controlled by Lianshu will be prosperous for thousands of miles. Effective control here means that on this battlefield, you have absolute control, making it impossible for people to break through, and your power can also be maximized on this battlefield. The strength of Lianshu can be seen. Of course, the Yuanshan expanding aperture is not without flaws, the body must be guarded, otherwise the body will be destroyed by someone, and the Yuanshan will be homeless, and barbecue will be. Yuanshan also has no way to expand aperture for a long time. I'm afraid this is a god transformation. Nascent soul in the north is aware of this. Above the gods. Although none of them have ever seen god transformation, since Tian Luozong is a second-rank fairy sect, it must have the righteousness of god transformation. Coupled with the miraculousness shown by the Tinluo sect leader, it made the northern territory nascent soul speculate. Is there any fool who can reach nascent soul? This awareness made the hearts of the nascent souls in the northern region condense, and their bodies could not help but sit upright. At this time, Li Su had already flown out. A person who is an expert in refining virtual reality brings someone to his wedding, and the other party has no malicious intentions, so it is naturally impossible for Li Su to keep the other party away. Tinluo sect leader, Set Li Su made an invitation gesture. Haha, good. These are the congratulatory gifts I prepared for the little friend, Chu Dao. You guys, send them in for the little friend. The Tinluo sect leader called out several female disciples of the Tinluo sect. These female disciples of the Tinluo sect are all beautiful and powerful, the weakest one is nascent soul, and there is even a transformation soul in it. Yes, sect leader holds several female disciples were also very curious about Li Su, and while secretly staring at Li Su, they sent things in. Before arriving, Tinluo sect leader seemed to have mentioned Li Su to them. Although he is a sect leader, he can't force the core disciples in the sect to marry. It's just that Li Su's image, temperament, cultivation base and character are all excellent in his opinion, so he has enough confidence to use these female disciples to marry Li Su. Win over. At this time, in the distance, another flying boat team approached. Here comes another one. This one is also huge, and it looks like it probably came from another place. Below, many guests stretched their necks one by one, becoming curious again. Li Su saw that this team was obviously from Xuanshan Academy. The one surnamed Lu is here. When Tinluo sect leader saw the flying boat of Xuanshan Academy, he couldn't help frowning. Now, there is one more competitor. Second rank Immortal Gate in the Western Territory, Xuanshan Academy is here to congratulate Ji for the first release of the wedding announcement. After the flying boat team from Xuanshan Academy arrived, a disciple first explained their purpose. Immediately afterwards, the head of Xuanshan Academy surnamed Lu flew out. Little friend Li Su, I was wrong before. I didn't expect that you are not from Sacred Land, but a cultivator in the northern border, and you can grow up to this day in the northern border. You are really amazing. The head surnamed Lu shook his folding fan and looked at Li Su with admiration. His voice fell, and another team came. Today is so lively. What happened here? Why are so many people from other powerful immortal sects coming to Li Senior's wedding? I don't know. Anyway, Li Senior is really good. Below, many cultivators in the northern border were stunned. Also completely do not understand what happened. All of a sudden, so many powerful immortals from other places came to Li Su's wedding and brought so many rich gifts. Many cultivators in the northern border lamented that Li Su was too powerful, but they were confused and didn't know why. This team is not Gui Yuanzong, but a team from the southern border. That's right, people from Yujing also came. There is also a second-rank fairy gate in the southern border, called Wan Beast Sect. This fairy gate is the same as the Spirit Beast Sect in the north, and it is mainly driven by spirit beasts. The difference is that this is a second-rank fairy gate, while the Spirit Beast Sect can only be regarded as a fifth-rank fairy gate. This fairy gate is not a flying boat, but a huge spirit beast. For example, a yellow dragon. This is not a real dragon, but an earth dragon made of earth energy. This is a type of 5-element spirit beast, and the method of drawing is basically not spread. The Wan Beast Sect also came to give Li Su a congratulatory gift. Not only that, but the head of the 10,000 Beast Sect is a charming girl who looks to be in her 20s. This girl is not the strongest of the 10,000 Beast Sect. Line up. Friend Li Dao, Grandpa asked me to give you this egg. This egg cannot be hatched without celestial energy. We can't hatch it, but fellow Taoist should be able to. The head of Wanshuzong handed a red egg to Li Su. Li Su picked it up curiously. This egg is a bit special. Even if it is an egg now, if an ordinary person touches it, a layer of skin will be peeled off instantly. This is a spirit beast of the fire attribute, and its level is abnormally high. It is only known after hatching what it is. The head of the Myriad Beast Sect said again. Thanks. Li Su put it away. The visitor is a guest, and he also invites the other party to attend his wedding. Li Su naturally saw that these fairy sects had the intention of wooing him. Naturally, he is not going to participate in any fairy gate, but there is no need to refuse other people's kindness. Of course, Li Su is not going to take other people's things for nothing. He will also return a share of these gifts, so that he won't owe too much. At this time, another larger team approached. The first-rank Xianmin Gui Yuanzong came here to congratulate Li Dao on his new wedding. This is Gui Yuanzong's team. First-rank Xianmin. Is this the Gai Yuanzong where Bihai Senior is? I didn't expect even them to come. As soon as Gui Yuanzong's team arrived, it caused a great commotion. The nascent souls in the north couldn't sit still. First-rank Xianmin. Some of the other second-rank fairy gates, these northern nascent souls, have never even heard of their names. But Gui Yuanzong's name, they have basically heard of it. This is an extremely powerful first-rank fairy gate. Bihai, the god of transformation of Bixiazong, can only be in outer sect elders inside. Don't let them see nascent soul, even if they go to Gai Yuanzong. Maybe it's just a foreign deacon, and they won't receive much attention. There is no way, there are too many geniuses in Gai Yuanzong. A large number of geniuses in the northern border were lost, and more than half of them went to Gaiyuanzong. In fact, a lot of geniuses from other realms were lost to Gaiyuanzong. This is the siphon ability of a powerful fairy gate. The most terrifying expression of this siphoning ability is sacred land. Around the sacred land, other immortal sects don't even think about recruiting geniuses from the heavenly spiritual roots. Now, even the first-rank fairy the door is here too. This made the cultivators in the northern border feel even more shocked. At the same time, each of them was even more puzzled as to what happened. There are so many extremely powerful fairy gates. Even if the object of Li Su's concubine this time is the Washan of the most powerful Zhao clan in Beihai, it would not be possible for such a powerful fairy to be dispatched. This wedding, also because of the arrival of these fairy gates, has become the most grand wedding in the northern territory for tens of thousands of years. After Gaiyuanzong's team arrived, Peak Master Dian also appeared and personally presented Li Su with a congratulatory gift. A special talisman, after activation, can be used to save one's life. The manufacture of talismans not only requires good attainments in talisman seals, but also requires 5 cultivation skills. Cultivation base is low, it is difficult to make high-level charms. The method of making this talisman is very simple, and it is precious because it is precious. This is inscribed by the Lord Dian with his own true energy. Li Su put it away. The 4 immortals were invited by Li Su into Li's mansion. I didn't expect my little friend to be able to open the magnetic barrier of Mangkang Mountain. It's really amazing. After entering Li's residence, the head of Xuanshan Academy was still amazed. That's really admirable. This metamagnetic barrier has existed for countless years, so he has naturally noticed it. Moreover, the Yuan magnetic barrier is getting stronger year by year, even he dare not touch it rashly. However, Li Su was able to open it, allowing spiritual qi to penetrate in, and forcibly created a paradise here. This method is enough to demonstrate Li Su's formation attainments. Not only the head of Xuanshan Academy, but also Peak Master Dian and Tinluo sect leader, also praised Ji Su full of praise. Just being able to open the metamagnetic barrier is enough to prove that Li Su's talent in other aspects besides spiritual roots heaven-defying is really terrifying. Today is Li Su's big wedding, and they didn't say much. This time, the 4 immortal sects mainly came to convey goodwill, and if they really wanted to invite Li Su, it would not be on today's occasion. Li Su is very busy today. To be able to make 3 of them refine the Shu, and 1 person who is not the Shu, but is also the head of the second-rank fairy sect, is enough to show that he attaches great importance to Li Su. With this foreshadowing, I will invite you later, and there will be more. You don't need to worry about us, you can go to work as much as you can. Tinluo sect leader behaved very casually. Seeing that Li Su really likes taking concubines, his confidence is even stronger. To the north, the High Clan's send-off team also came. This time, the High Clan's send-off team was also unusually large. It was a little bigger than the one when Bai Ling was sent off. The Sea Clan dispatched more than 1,000 gold cores, nascent souls for decades, and a few from Shendu. You really took care of the Beihai Sea Clan. The 4 people from the Immortal Sect were quite surprised when they saw the people from the High Clan. The wedding begins. After the people of the High Clan knew that Li Su's wedding had actually come from other powerful fairy gates, they became more and more respectful of Li Su. After the wedding, the people from the 4 immortal sects did not stay or disturb too much, and all left one after another. They came grandly and left with ease. This way, it is easy to leave a good impression on Li Su. As for inviting and wooing, naturally leave it behind. For cultivators, this little time is nothing. Although the people from the 4 immortal sects left, this wedding was bound to spread far and wide. It will even spread to other realms, and I don't know what kind of sensation it will cause in those realms. After the wedding, in the bridal chamber, Li Su looked at He Lin covered with a red hijab, and felt a little interesting. This Washan Loli was actually married by him. He has many women, but he has never had one like Blackscale. Li Su lifted the red hijab. Under the red veil, Mo Lin lowered his head and said nothing, his face was already extremely red. This little girl, when she was outside, was extremely cold, but at this time, she was so shy again. Looking at the ink scales, Li Sujaya for 3 full days, Li Su didn't show up. In fact, He Scale brought him an experience, very. No more than 3 days. For a full month, Lee Su never reappeared. A month later, Lee Su finally decided to take a break. Mo Lin was about to cry. There is no such thing. Just married her into the door, unexpectedly. A full month.